All right, folks, we're starting a minute early or so. I'm going to do what I do and run ads for 3 minutes to turn off pre-rolls. So if you haven't used your Prime sub, now's the time to do it. Like that? Little streamer energy. Okay. Terrible energy to bring starting out. Let's go. All right, I'm going to press the ads button now. Joe is going to be a little bit late to join us, and before Sekimeiya today, we're going to do some fan art. So that's the plan. All right, I'm pressing the button. See you in a few if you want. All right. Joe is eating, so it'll be a little while before he joins us. He may not be here for all of the fan art, but maybe he'll join us for some. Early streamer. Yeah, early streamer, so I can run ads. +2 on the title. Thank you, Dolmec. Thank you, Dolmec. Just so everybody knows, the mods were prevented from blocking slop from being mentioned in Joe's chat, but my mods weren't, so the new word of the day to be banned here is slop. You cannot say slop. If you find a way to say slop, they will find a way to prevent you. It is Psy Sunday. It is Psy Sunday. Mods, it's one mod. It is one mod, but it's funnier to talk about it like there's a cabal of mods. Yeah. Side A, side A. Thank you, Lemonade, for resubbing with the Seki Slop Time heart. VTubers do song covers all the time. Can you do side A? Yeah, I can do side A. I don't remember the lyrics to the original or the tune. Welcome, Raiders from Jelly. Welcome, welcome. We're just running a few minutes of ads, and then I'll put my announcements out, and then we will do some fan art, and then we will do Sekimeiya. Hi, Mouse. I made sure to wait until you're live on like a certain somebody. Thank you, Jelly. Unfortunately, I'm live just running 3 minutes of ads right now, so it's a little anticlimactic, but it's certainly better than being offline. I had my OBS open because I was getting it ready, and I was in reading club, and I was saying something out loud, and I just like stopped short during book club talking because I saw Anderson JPH rated with 1,700 people, and I was like, what are we doing? You successfully advertised Pentiment to someone in pre-chat. Good job, good job, good job. Good job. You have to go catch up on VODs. Well, thank you for stopping by, Lemonade. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you during E33. Let's talk about the Beatles. The Beatles are really interesting because I can't think of another band who went through like a transformation in sound and just like so shamelessly represented that through the progression of their albums. Like you can just hear them go to India and appropriate everything there. It's kind of crazy. I started E33 in the weekend, and what the fuck, it goes so hard. I know. It's such a good game. Yeah, you can really hear them go to India. Yeah, E33 is what it's like to play a good game. Not flawless, not flawless. There's a crazy transformation with Pink Floyd. That's true, yeah, yeah. A lot of those classic bands, I think, got and stayed classic because they were so willing to like transform their sound and experiment. I had enough of Mouse talking about Beatles. What's wrong, Paquetto? Have I played Deltarune? Yes, I didn't care too much for Chapter 3. I thought Chapter 3 was well executed, but it wasn't what I wanted, so I was disappointed. And then Chapter 4 was exactly what I wanted, and I really liked it. I didn't do any of the secret stuff in Chapter 3, but I accidentally did most of the secret stuff in Chapter 4, because I thought it was the main route. I saw people talking about Grave Seasons, but before the trailer, I didn't know they had such hot women. Yeah, Grave Seasons looks awesome. The secret stuff in Chapter 3 is half the content. It's a lot. Oh, damn. Well, I've been planning to go back and redo it once like someone's like put a guide out that can just tell me where to go so that I don't miss anything. So I'll definitely restart then. Weeby is the only person on the internet who liked 3 more than 4, but did all the secret stuff on the first try. Damn, impressive. All right, I am going to Join Discord. Yeah, send me the guide in DM for sure. August, that would be good. All right. I'm going to join the Discord to wait for Joe, and then we're gonna do a little bit of fan art. A little bit of fan art is a treat. Let me post announcements too. Ding ding. I'm so on the ball. No one's ever been so on the ball. How's Squeakgrass treating you? I have to do Picross games in kind of like tiny bite sizes. I can't do a ton at once. I'm enjoying it though. It's really, I like puzzle games like that because they're just like sort of mindless and you can kind of just tune out into them. How's the weather treating you? It's very warm here and I need to turn up my air conditioning. Oh, hello.
Hey, I'm still eating, but I'm here. Hello.
Okay, hello. We're live, and I have not started fan art yet. So, okay. I don't have a fancy website that somebody runs for me, so I'm just streaming it from my computer. So if you want to see the fan art, you should look at my stream.
Whoa.
I know.
A little bit of shade there sprinkled on.
I know.
All right. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just kind of a small indie streamer. Like you gotta deal with it. Finally, the VN equivalent of Scooby-Doo corridor running scene. Hell yeah. Mouse, you're my favorite streamer to draw now because I draw 2 circles on a triangle and that's it. Amazing. I wonder if Huey knew that when he made the Mouse VTuber when he made the Mouse VTuber, it would become so iconic. All right. Another fan art was just posted.
Another is hit.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna mute the microphone until I'm done eating. I might pop in now and then.
Okay.
If something
make some
really
comments
funny happens.
Okay. Nothing funny happens on my stream. Do you want a fan art website? My current client isn't reading his emails. I can't afford to pay you, Volter. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me scroll up to the beginning of fan art. Our first fan art is a Chan. Man art. Our first fan art is a Chan. This is from Luna Panda for the E33 streams. Undoubtedly a Chan that will make her way to Joe's stream as well for his playthrough. This is Bloody Baguette Chan from Luna Panda. Hello. Lots of good stuff going on here. I like the crop top. The odd thing I would say is that she's wearing shoes. The fact that she's wearing shoes seems a little unrealistic, but I do like that her pants are also baguettes. You're not feet person? I'm sorry. Thank you, Haydener, for gifting a sub to Luna Panda. It's very kind of you. Lovers with and French fry? Oh, you're so right. Thank you, Luna Panda. Mouse wants to see the feats. Yeah, give me all the Chan feats. I love that. The next couple of things aren't really game related. They're more stream related. Oh, I need to put chat above this. So this is from when my power went out and people were like, why don't you just take your streaming stuff to your mom's house? And I was like, I don't think my mom wants me to drag my entire streaming rig to her house. And he's got the chinchilla, from the blackout era. So we've got the chinchillas with all of my peripherals. And when Colton, this is from Colton, when Colton posted this fan art, I said my mom would flip her shit if she saw herself represented as like the old lady mouse knitting in the chair, because my mom is like LARPing as someone 20 years younger than her, and she looks really young too, and she would just absolutely lose her fucking mind. My mom would rather stick a fork in a socket than call someone dearie, I think. Like, there's just no way. We can never let her see this. But it's very cute. I wish I had this mom sometimes, because my mom is a little high maintenance. I love her, though. All right. Thank you, Colton. I wasn't supposed to DM her this image. My mom does not know what Discord is or Twitch. I've tried to explain Twitch to her because I was watching Jelly at her house. I was watching Jelly's channel at her house, and it just didn't go well. This next one is from Huli. So another real life arc recently, if you didn't know, is one of my chinchillas has a sore on his foot. It's not a huge deal, but he has a sore on his foot and I have to put balm on it. I was doing it twice a day. It's getting better, but it's down to every other day now. and he absolutely hates it whenever I put the balm on his foot. And his new routine, I said on stream last time, is he runs away from me when I come over to the cage, and then he goes on the chinchilla wheel and runs as hard as he can for 30 seconds just to like prove to me that he could run away from me if he could. Like if he wanted to, if he didn't have the cage in his way, he wouldn't have to deal with this kind of bullshit. And then when I do get him out, he tries to bite me and we have to wrestle. So yeah, this is painful for both of us. He bit me once, it really hurt. So thank you, Holy, for this. I love the chinchilla art. The chinchilla art is my favorite art that people make. This is from Robin Bird. There's a good representation of how a mouse wears headphones probably help. It's just where you put the headphones is a good question. Why does it say FF14 prob instead of prog? Because I'm washed, Kudo. I'm washed. I don't prog raid anymore. I've stopped raiding halfway through last expansion. It's over for me. Sending good energy. I was having a bad week, and Robin very kindly made this. Robin is one of my... I talk a lot of shit. I talk a lot of shit on Umiden, which only some of it is fair. But Robin Bird is one of my favorite posters in Umiden. Always has really good takes. Always very empathetic to other people. Super, super kind. Carlton, the idea you had was a good one, and so now I am pausing to make sure that I do that. Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Robin, for this. Robin wrote a bedtime story for Xenogears voice chat last night. It ruled. Yeah, Robin is really, really cool. I highly recommend hanging out with Robin if you ever have any chance or excuse to. Thank you for sending that, August. I saw. Okay, next we have from Hey Denner. Let me get... The description in Discord was... Mouse enjoying fantasy life while E33 looms in the distance. This is me playing fantasy life because I didn't want to stream E33 and the fucking monolith is looming in the window. This is so funny. Oh my god. Haydener asked for my fantasy life character screenshots to make sure it was accurate. And I think the funny thing is I tried to make my fantasy life character look as close to Angie from Umineko as I could manage, and it does kind of look like Angie here, just going ham in the kitchen. This is really good. I really love this, Haydener. I thought about making it a mouse with the character. It was really cute. Thank you. Fantasy Life has a surprisingly thorough character designing thing, and it did on the DS too, which was crazy. I replayed a little bit of the original one before this one came out, and it was wild how many choices you got to make about customizing your character. Living her fantasy life to the fullest. That's right. Thank you, Haydener. Another one from Luna Panda. Who said, I didn't have any reason, I just wanted to draw this. So, again, with the chinchillas. My chinchillas get a lot of funny things for treats, and one of the things they get is applewood sticks that they can chew on, because otherwise they chew on everything. I didn't give them a stick for a few days, and they chewed apart one of the ledges in their cage, is the update. Oh, thank you, Master of Segways, for resubbing. At an average of 2,000 cheddar per stream, it will take me approximately 225 more streams to redeem the Game Award. At an average of 3 streams per week, it will take around 2.5 years for the day you must answer to me. 2028 is the year you will play Lobotomy Corporation, Mouse. Oh no. And you better believe I have alts that are ready to redeem Library of Rumina and Limbus Company at the same time. Count your cheese, Mouse. It won't last forever. I've played like an hour of Library of Ruina. No, more than that. I think I played a couple of hours of Library of Ruina. I liked it okay. I haven't touched Project Moon stuff. otherwise. There was that whole snafu with the person who got fired and all of the Korean stuff about feminism a couple of years ago, and that kind of put me off. But it seems like that was at least partially a misunderstanding. So I won't say no if that's what you want to use your chatter on. Okay, I understand Ruina and Limbus, but Lobocorp is CBT in game form. Which kind do you mean? Can I? Okay.
Sorry, just unmuting for no reason right now.
The one. We're gonna do a game that's cognitive behavioral therapy in game form. So, do chinchillas have teeth that always grow like some rodents? Yes, they do. That's why they have to have sticks and stuff to chew on. You cannot put anything like plastic in the chinchilla cage because they will just chew it to bits and it can hurt them. Oh my god, Ampasant, thank you for gifting 20 subs. Holy shit, thank you. That's crazy. Really appreciate it. That's very sweet of you. Oh, fuck. I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know what to do when that happens. I'm gonna keep doing fan art. Thank you, Luna Panda. Is Boulder here? Boulder, are you here? Boulder. Lobotomy Corporation is the only game that made me cry as an adult through pure gameplay. Interesting. Well, I hope Boulder's here because this is fan art of Boulder. It's just, we're reading on stream, minding our own business, and Boulder coming from the fucking peanut gallery. Merrick Regarda for lose for the first time in 6 years, by the way. Fuck, what the fuck are we doing? Thank you, Capsador, for gifting 24 gift subs. Are you fucking one-upping people? What do you mean? Oh, they're 35% off. I see. Were they good lewds? I didn't go look. That's a question for Boulder. More subs for the Sekimeiya stream. Well, thank you, Caps, and thank you, Ampasant. That's very sweet of you. Oh, shit. It's a question for Joe. Joe, were the Gardevoir lewds good?
I didn't check either. Sorry to break the illusion.
Damn. Okay.
Sorry.
Damn.
Should I go research it right now while I'm eating this chicken?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely? Okay, all right. Hold on.
Thank you, Dolmec, for gifting a sub to August after August just asked in the chat. Just fucking... just rewarded for nothing. Thank you, Dolmec. Begging works sometimes. There you go. Cozy stream, by the way. There we go. Yep, cozy stream. Thank you, C8. I agree with Boulder. The green glow is really, really good. I love my expression and then Joe getting excited for some reason. They were too explicit for Boulder's taste. Sometimes more clothes is more, you know. Yep. Yeah, for some reason he looks excited. I went to the gym today, Sunday gym. Good job. Oh my god. Or is this what we're doing? Thank you, Caps, for gifting a sub to Boulder, and Dalmec for gifting a sub to Harma. That's very, very kind of you. Is this Homestuck? This art is Homestuck, but the stream is not Homestuck. Thank you, Dalmec, for gifting a sub to Allison. Oh my god. Okay. All right, and he says no more from me, so the gift sub shop is closed. Thank you, Haydener, for gifting a sub to Holy Gordo. All right, next fan art. This is the Mouts. This is a mouse and a Mets hat from Colton. Love the Mets. If you don't understand why everybody on my server is always talking about the Mets, then that's probably for the best. Can this be a Twitch emote? Somebody made something that we maybe we're going to use as an emote, but thank you, Tacos Deberia, for resubbing with, fine, I'll gift myself a sub then, with an angry chicken. Yeah, love the Mets, love the Mounts. Thank you very much, Colton. Next one is from Chrome. This is from the Split Fiction streams. If you didn't know, Kaylee Gal made a really banger Split Fiction highlight video on YouTube that you can go watch. Chrome was watching it and made this. Chrome said, just watch the edit. Is this a +2? This is from the Split Fiction streams, and honest to God, if someone could remind me what we were talking about when I said we're not sharing custody, I would really appreciate it. 'Cause I don't remember a lot of those streams. Do you remember,
it's
Joe?
when I drew the decoy, right?
Oh, it's the decoy. Oh, it's the
in the
decoy.
snow, I think.
Okay.
I think so. It's gotta be that.
Yeah, chat says it was decoy. Okay. I don't want custody of the decoy. I love these little freaks. I love Mouse is giving like 90s sitcom vibes here for some reason. And you're just a little guy with what look like yaoi hands to me. I forgot Joe is gonna be here. Joe jump scare. Yeah, Joe is eating while I pilot this part of the stream. He'll be in charge later. I need to be told, how much Metal Gear Solid 1 knowledge does Thomas Monkton have? Well, Thomas Monkton.
Is that me? That's me?
Yeah, that's you.
How much Metal Gear Solid 1 knowledge?
Yeah.
I've played it. I've probably beaten that game like 15 times.
Holy shit.
It's been a long time since I played it though. So, and I also played Twin Snakes. I beat Twin Snakes 3 times. That's the GameCube remake. I played that game a lot when I was a teenager. I've seen all the endings. Yeah, I'm probably gonna rediscover a lot of it though, because I've forgotten a lot. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Godot says, I just thought decoy octopus. Do you like that?
Ooh.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. Moving along. Thank you, Chrome. Very cute. I like when they're little dudes. This is fan art. The rest of the fan art, well, that's not true. Anyway, this is fan art from today. This is from Brendan. How you, the mouse of the streams, could not be here. But Brendan, partner of Mouse of the Streams, has given us art. This is crossover Umineko and Sekimeiya art, saying this level of assholery is possible for us. What do you think, everyone? So somebody asked before if there was fan art of Sai Sekimeiya, and now we can confirm for sure that there is art of Sai Sekimeiya in Erica's dress. I think he's pulling it off. I think they're both pulling it off. I think the detail of making sure that Erica's shirt says Wood Carbuncle on it in deference to Godot is very strong. Is that Jessica's dress? It's technically, sorry, it is Jessica's dress that Erica was borrowing. I'm so sorry. Thank you. And thank you to an anonymous gifter who gifted a sub to Godot. Which is good because his name not being green in Discord was throwing me off. Okay. This is great. This is great. Love this. Joe is silent because he's in awe because Erica is his favorite character, and so he doesn't even know what to say. Okay. The last fan art from Discord is related apparently to whatever happened in the Jackbox stuff that I didn't attend today, which is apparently Mouse the awesome bisexual versus Rodney the evil and intimidating Twitch employee. I'm hoping somebody will explain what happened in Jackbox today to me to make this exist. Nah, I'm good. Okay. Check multiplayer voice chat. You made a funny combo, I see. Oh, Rodney in voice chat said bisexuals are cheating by getting double the choice. Incredible. Thank you, Rodney. And thank you, Colton. The last two fan arts are very special because we don't know who made them. So a group of people in my Discord thought it would be funny to make a Reddit sub thingy for me, a subreddit for me. And we had a fan artist show up there and begin mysteriously posting called Mouse Viewer, and we don't know who they are. So here is the first thing that Mouse Viewer posted. They said I had to get the first fan art post. I think it turned out cute. This is very cute. I like this style very much. This is basically exactly the vibes that I was looking for whenever I started streaming. The subreddit started as a joke and materialized. Yeah, it's something. And then the second mystery post requires arcane knowledge of this. The streams have existed for 4 months and we already have impenetrable impenetrable inside jokes. So starting from Red White. This is Red White from the Ace Attorney series. Who Okay, all right. There's so many layers. So let's go through this. First of all, what the fuck is his outfit? Because I don't even recognize. Is that just another Love Live outfit, or is that something else? It's Toho. Okay. All right. So thank you. So there are very funny conversations in my Discord server that one of the people who come to my Discord server called Liddy Asmi have made into the objection.lol Ace Attorney street like videos. And so there are videos of our Discord conversations, and Red White is is how Dalmek is depicted. So this is Dalmek Red White. Dalmek, an avowed Toho fan, in his red white Toho dress, holding mouse on the palm of his hands in a Love Live outfit, because I mentioned Love Live on Joe's stream and they didn't know the artist said they don't know anything about Love Live, but they looked up the dress and thought looked cute. The mouse looks so fucking cute here. The dress is very cute. And then in the back there's a poster for a lost cat, which is Paquetto, who is a Discord member who is taking some time off because of exams and stuff, and so left the Discord but is here in chat. Paquetto is lost. Hello, Paquetto. So here we have it's just like 6 layers of inside jokes somehow already. So whoever this is obviously like somebody we know, or somebody who is just like the most dedicated lurker in the Discord, who's just like making meticulous notes about all of this. Paquetto is also Apollo Justice. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, there is another Ace Attorney reference here. Didn't the objection.lol video start with socks versus hat? Yes, they did. Yeah, yes, they did. Okay.
Socks versus hat.
Yeah, socks versus hat. So that is the end of our fan art. But Joe, I have a surprise guest for you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I have a surprise guest for you. In honor of Pride. We have a special guest on the stream. For whenever he's on screen. Are you looking at the stream?
I'm looking at the stream. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Happy Pride from Sai. So whenever Sai's on screen, we're going to get visited by gay Sai. The best queer representation on stream so far.
Sorry, it's just I love men.
It is just I love men.
It's just I love men.
It's just I love men. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Pride Month. Yeah, thank you, Pride. Thank you to all of the artists, including Unknown Mouse Viewer. And I'm gonna boot up Sekimeiya and we'll get started.
Sai is a very direct person. Sai is not a very direct person. What are you talking about? Sai is not. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for the extra time.
Absolutely. I asked how you, the mouse of the streams, if there was any stopping point in particular today, and how you said it seems like all of the Sekimeiya fans are in chat anyway, so they'll give you a good one. And also, you guys have completely unpredictable pacing on how much you read in a day, so I have no idea how far you're going to get. And I said, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
You don't fucking remember anything? All right, we can go on vibes then. That's okay. All right, so as is traditional, what the fuck happened last time?
We're in a second round, like a reset.
Yep.
That's what all VNs are doing nowadays.
Yep.
We're in a reset. It just kind of ended in the first reset, and now we're seeing things from Shiroya's perspective, but we think that it's a fake out and we're actually Mia.
Yep.
It's misdirection. And it's been very funny seeing Katsuki go to his mind palace while we are now seeing him through someone else's eyes. They've gone to the attic really soon, and no one's died or gone missing, right? Or is Akaro missing?
Let's see. So everything was the same. I think that Naomi is still missing.
Yes.
And that's the only person. I turned myself down a little, Godot. Hopefully it helps.
Wasn't there a cliffhanger we ended on with the elevator or something?
We can't find anyone in the attic. Sai successfully calls the elevator. I'll stream it to you. Sorry, I have the thing pulled up. So the last thing was they went to the attic. They couldn't find anyone there. Sai called the elevator, and after everybody else took the elevator to the crystal floor, Shiraya/Miya, Atsuki, Kate stepped out of the attic with the Sekimeiya, locked the door behind them, and they walked down. See you, Colton. Thanks for dropping by. Has Battler or Erica ever seen Naomi? Possibly. We don't know what happens off screen. They said you're kind of quiet. Can you talk?
Hello.
Okay, well, you were definitely loud there. Great choice for Pride.
A little further away from the microphone as usual, maybe just a little.
Great choice for Pride Month, Rep Mouse. Even his name is meticulously chosen and dripping with symbolism. Sai Loveman, with his first name being a shortening of Sailor, famously known for bucking social norms and conjuring associations with pirates, and his last name is a subtle nod to his social orientation. I can't wait until Wrath Month, when special guest Coruscant Knave will be brought onto stream to capture its true spirit. Okay, so it's a Korual. We've got a Korual. Okay.
Wrath.
Okay. Thank you, Haydener, for gifting a sub to Robin in Flight on the basis of that post, presumably. Alright. Oh god, just jump scared by walls of text. Alright. I DM'd you the voice assignments. Okay.
I have it open.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to full screen the stream if it'll let me. It's not letting me for some reason.
Bye, Naya. Thanks for stopping by.
Alright, there we go. I'm good. I'm good to go.
I'm also looking forward to Wrath Month. What do you think about people who pronounce it Roth?
I hate it.
I know, I've heard you say that.
It sounds like froth. It's wrath. Where's the O coming from? Roth. If you have a really thick British accent, I think you can get away with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seems prejudicial against the British.
There is a word that you pronounce in a way that I don't like, but I can't say it in polite company. It starts with a T, and that is not how we say it in the UK. At least it wasn't in the part that I grew up. So
yeah. You can't say it in polite company?
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how bad of a word is it over here. I will type it to you, and you can tell me.
Oh, I see. He doesn't like that I say twat instead of twat, presumably.
Yeah, it is twat in the UK. At least where I grew up, it was twat, not twat. And it's the same kind of Roth. Changing it to an O.
How often? I can't have ever said that more than once in front of you. I can't believe that's living rent free in your mind. Do you have any?
I have a tally on the side of my desk. It's been 6 times. What are you talking about?
It is 6 times. What do you mean? What other grudges against me are you holding that are building up into long-term resentments?
Only one other one that it's not that you say it right, you just now strategically avoid saying the word herb because you say it herb and I say herb, so you've just stopped saying either of them.
That's true.
You just do seasonings and spices instead to just.
Isn't that giving you what you want? You don't have to hear the thing you don't want to hear.
That's true.
I'll just say cunt instead of twat from now on.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Yippee. Anyway.
I don't even know if that's what it means in the UK as well. Usually just like you're being a dumbass. Like it's more of a casual word in some contexts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't ever change. Thank you so much. Poor Naja. Poor Naja. Poor Naja. Poor Naja. I didn't even think about Naja. Sorry, Naja.
Cozy vibes. Cozy vibes.
There is a mature tag on this stream, gamers. Sekimeiya is mature enough that I can be immature. Thank you.
Oh, I thought it was because I was here.
No. No.
Wait, what were you talking about? The words we were just talking about were twat or twat, and then herb or herb. Sorry, Naja. Yeah. Sekimeiya, mature with that shirt on. Sai, I love men. Yep. Very,
Luckily
very,
enough.
very mature. Yeah. I'm
Luckily
ready to go
enough.
when you are.
Oh
Or we
yeah,
could
no,
just
it's fine.
keep we could just
No,
riffing on language. If
yeah,
you
we
want.
can riff for 4 hours. Luckily enough, the I shouldn't even say this, but Nadja got so bored editing the Sekimeiya videos that they're all demonetized anyway because he can't be bothered to take the music out anymore. So it doesn't matter. He's not making any
Aw.
money anymore. He got too
Aw.
bored. Oh well. Anyway, are you feeling narration or not? What do you feel?
You just did a lot of reading with the fan art or talking with the fan art, so I can do the narration.
Oh
So
yeah, you
sure.
know what? That's fair. Yeah, sounds good to me. All right.
Okay, and I am those four. I have it listed up on my screen. Okay, were we on this paragraph or are we starting from the beginning? Let's see. I'll just start from the top. Usually I figured he would have taken Sai much more seriously, but he hardly appeared to care about what the guy said. His suspicion toward Kate wasn't the indicator I've been waiting for. How much longer would I have to play along for? Ever since she'd exited our lives, I kept telling myself that it would all eventually go back to how it was at the beginning. However, dealing with his attitude until then and with my parents in the background was way too frustrating. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Whoever we are, whether it's maybe we are Shiroya, they don't really seem to like Katsuki that much, or they don't. There's some friction there that wasn't really present from Atsuki's perspective, which is unexpected to me.
Yeah, like Katsuki was talking about Shiroya and was like, "Oh, she's so quiet. She must be really upset. Like, I've been really worried about her." And then whoever this is, Shiroya or Mia, is like, "Oh, I have to pretend to be upset for him again. I can't believe he's eating this shit up." Very
What
interesting.
size Shiroya are we?
Medium.
Medium Shiroya. We were living in his house, which had been his immediate idea. If it weren't for that, I would have assumed his mental state wasn't going to get better anytime soon, and he wanted to remain alone. As soon as we began to step down the last staircase, we saw a few people in hallway A, who immediately gestured at us to hurry toward them.
Take a look at the security room.
Irina and Isla were next to its door. Peering inside, Kate paid no mind to Sai and pushed open the door to the event room. With one hand, he raised the curtain, opened the glass, and put the Sekimeiya inside. Oh, give me the keys. I took them from my purse and handed them to him. This is a manual lock, right? Does it shut the cabinet without needing the key? Irina, Isla, and Akaro were looking from the door, indicating with their eyes that they'd found something. Yes, I was just going to lock it. Atsuki turned a dial on the left side of the cabinet and verified that it could only be unlocked with a key identical to the one Naomi had used. Do not take it out under any circumstances. It's very likely Naomi brought it to the attic, so we need to find her as soon as possible.
I bet you want to know what happened in the security room first.
What happened? Sai jerked his head, telling us to see for ourselves. Awkwardly, Kate made his way to the hallway and walked up to the security room. Was it like this when you came?
Yeah, the elevator had been re-enabled, so I wanted to go to the security room. This is how we found it.
Atsuki and I, who hadn't yet seen the problem, approached the room. It was very easy to tell what was wrong from the hallway. Every monitor was displaying a black screen, and the drone of the computer had ceased. Oh.
Did the computer stop working? There's still the ceiling light, so I assume so.
The computer did not stop working. It must have been turned off. The monitors above it won't display anything while the computer's off. He walked into the room while everyone else entered after him. However, after pressing the power button, there was no change. What the hell? This happened last time, at almost the exact time in the story, right?
Yes.
And we thought it was Sai that turned them off? Sai was the first one in here, so maybe he did it again.
Yeah, he's the one who raised the alarm. Also, the door was closed but not locked, just like you figured.
I see. I have no idea what was done, but the computer couldn't have stopped working by itself.
You didn't do it?
Me?
Well, you were on this floor before you reunited with us, right?
was only here for a few seconds, unlike you all. The computer was working when we left. We could have used it for several things, so someone disabled it deliberately. Who had the chance to do that?
You, Akaro, Sai, or Naomi?
Kate glanced at Sai when I mentioned him, as he was under the impression he'd been with us when we went down.
Yeah, you didn't hear that, but I wasn't with them the whole time. I didn't enter this room, though.
What about Katsuki?
The four of us went together.
I see. So, from your point of view, we're the only people who could have entered this room after you left it with the computer running. You might be ignoring something, though. Someone used this computer after we all met up again. The elevator was re-enabled when we were in the attic, which means that Naomi turned off the computer after doing so and is still hiding. It makes sense because she knows what we could do with it.
Would she really have any idea how to power on the elevator?
Even if she didn't know in detail, it is fairly simple to work out. I imagine she was told about the alarm and its functions after all. I thought that made enough sense, except for one important detail. Someone in chat is asking, why does the old man look like that? What do you mean? The one on the left? Kate? That's just what he looks like.
Yeah, that's just
How
what
old
he
is
looks
Kate, do you think? Like 50? 50? 55? Something like that?
I mean, if this is like how anime does older people, he's probably either 40 or 90.
Awesome. Okay.
Hi, first time viewer, what's happening? It's Pride Month? I don't know. But if Naomi didn't want us to use this computer, why didn't she power it off earlier?
Probably because she was in the attic, but most importantly, because she thought this room was locked, even though it remained open because the alarm failed to lock it.
If it's true that the alarm should have locked it after leaving, sure, but even if it did malfunction, the only reason why we didn't enter before was because you left your key inside, right? Normally, she would have expected you to bring it out and be able to open the door whenever. It doesn't make sense to say she cared about us using the computer because we should have been able to get in here right away while it was still working. I'd forgotten about that key. You said you left yours in this room, so where is it?
Kate opened a drawer and took all of its papers out as he spoke. It's possible she was keeping track of what we were doing from somewhere and knew that I hadn't unlocked the room yet. When she saw you'd opened it, you gave her an easy chance to power off the computer, even though I don't know exactly how she did it. I'm not sure why you're all having such a hard time believing me. It's not here. Katsuki took the key he'd found out of his pocket. This must be your key then.
Oh shit.
I guess so, but how the hell did it make it to the third floor? Kate took it from Katsuki's hand and left it in the same drawer he'd searched through. Nobody answered him. Before, Atsuki told me that he'd seen Kate staring at the floor on the higher levels of the building. If he'd known he needed to find the key somewhere, he must have deliberately withheld that, aware that the door had been left open. Then, as soon as we managed to enter, someone had immediately taken the opportunity to power off the computer. The intentions of that person coincided with Kate's if Katsuki's theory was right.
What's clear is that whoever shut down the computer enabled the elevator before doing so. And Kitei's the one person who would definitely know how to do that.
I agree that it seems strange. Naomi would know how to accomplish that without having a lot of time to experiment.
I agree. I forgot how so full of shit Kitei was from like minute 1.
Yeah. So it could be that powering off the computer enabled the elevator at the same time. It shouldn't have been the case, but I can't rule it out with the lack of testing this alarm had. Go see whether the lobby's lights are working again. If they are, it's possible the alarm's secondary effects were reversed when the computer was turned off, as the way to disable them is very different from the main one, which blocks the exit. Even though the computer doesn't work, the camera system functions independently. I don't know if it was shut down, so it's possible the cameras are still recording and that we simply can't look at the footage. I want to try a few things here and see if I can get the computer running again, so you can leave me be if you want. I will recommend once again that we find Naomi. After a light shrug, Sai spoke.
Sure, we still haven't looked through this entire floor. If we can't find Naomi here, we'll have to search the entire building in more depth. Oh, there's something else I meant to ask you. Inside the elevator, there's a stop button that's supposed to enable communication with the outside. Would that help us?
Also, I love men. No, it won't. The alarm's effects may not have worked perfectly, but one of them was to disable that connection. If you press the button, you'll get locked inside until 9 o'clock, so I'd advise you not to do it.
I see. I'm glad we didn't go for it then.
Sai moved to hallway A, and the others followed him. I was about to leave as well, but Kate's look stopped me.
Building search, building search. Yippee!
Once he and I were alone, he spoke in a quiet whisper. What? How well do you know Atsuki? The two of you are friends, right?
Oh, yeah.
We hadn't spoken much, but we'd been together in the lobby and were the same age, so it made sense for him to assume that. Do you trust him?
Huh?
I don't know if you're working with him. If you are, I'm warning you to stop whatever you're doing, but if you aren't, I will tell you directly. He is lying. He's lying to you and everyone else. He was the one who brought the Sekimeiya to the attic.
No, he wasn't. I've been with him the entire time.
Look, if you're actually unaware of whatever he's doing, make sure to keep an eye on him, and don't ever leave him alone. Make sure he can't ever take the Sekimeiya. Internally, I laughed, of course suspecting Katsuki hadn't at all crossed my mind. Under normal circumstances, I might possibly have believed that he was messing around and something he'd done had been misinterpreted, but Kate had just outed himself as a liar.
Out of curiosity, why are you saying he brought the Sekimeiya to the attic?
I can't tell you that, but you can take my word for it, person that we're just, meeting for the first time. I am certain that he did. I tried not to snort and walked out to hallway A. I didn't know what was up with Kate, but everything about him was questionable.
It's gotta be Mia. It's gotta be Mia, right? Like, no way.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Why had he even told me that? If it was all a lie, what did he plan to accomplish by telling me about it without even specifying any details? Even if he really did believe it, why would he have approached the person most likely to be working with a suspect? From all I could tell, the guy was a moron, plain and simple. At least Sai thought about what he said, even if he came across as a loose cannon. I saw the others had gone to the lobby, so I joined them.
Oh, the lights do work. Yep.
The 4 smaller lights were functioning again. However, that couldn't be taken as confirmation of anything since Kate had been the one to suggest checking them. Without saying anything else, Sai walked to the other hallway. Strangely, he went straight to the event room.
Why did you come here? So Kate doesn't see me?
Nonchalantly, he put his hand out to Atsuki.
Yay!
Do you want the keys?
Precisely.
Aw, I thought you wanted to hold hands.
Yeah, me
Why?
too. To unlock the cabinet.
What's the point? It could be dangerous to the Sekimeiya. Let's not cause problems we can avoid. I want to touch it, though.
And there should be no problem with that. You said Naomi was going to let you do it, but Kate made sure nobody would touch it. You all understand he's been lying, don't you? And the Sekimeiya was brought to the attic either by him or Naomi. The two people who should have known a higher temperature could be damaging. That's pretty suspicious, right? I bet he exaggerated the need for the temperature so we wouldn't get it out. However, he took it out himself earlier and brought it to the attic. You don't think it was Naomi? The keyring that Katsuki has might be hers. Kite had to lie and say he had an identical one. That means it's pretty unlikely she was the one to move the Sekimeiya, so she probably can't access the attic at the moment. However, there's one thing I find incredibly strange, and I'm not sure why Kite hasn't tried to excuse it. The answer is yes, Boulder. A few minutes ago, he made you lock the attic, claiming he didn't want anyone entering it without his knowledge. Now, he said he was going to manually lock this cabinet so that nobody could open it. But he didn't ask for the keyring and let Katsuki keep it. That's just plain contradictory and not something he would ignore. You're actually right. He should have made sure to keep it for himself after locking the attic. Which leads me to a single conclusion. Kite is, to put it politely, of low intelligence. He might just be working with Naomi, who does have an identical set of keys. It's fair to assume he wanted the attic and this cabinet locked to give Naomi a way out. She can still unlock both of them, and by letting Katsuki keep the keys, he'll always be a possible suspect for Naomi's actions. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. He must know how hard it is to believe that the keyring Katsuki has isn't Naomi's, and is taking advantage of that to make us think only Katsuki can use it. It sounds like you made up that the Sekimeiya had to be kept here for a reason, right? It was in the attic and nothing happened to it. What do you think, everyone?
Katsuki walked forward, unlocked the cabinet with a key, and scrolled open the glass. This compartment is definitely kept pretty cold.
That hardly matters. Take it out. There's something I'm especially curious about.
Katsuki sighed and looked at the useless camera that wasn't recording him. With both hands, he grabbed the cushion and took it out. Then he placed it on top of the cabinet with the Sekimeiya resting in the middle. Oh, this is the first time they've taken the cushion out.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped back. Kateya made it clear he didn't want us to touch it, so Katsuki didn't lay a hand on it himself and simply allowed Sai to do so if he wished. Wow.
Of course, nothing's happening to it. This is a bad idea, Sai.
Nobody was sure why he pushed back against Kate's orders so much, but Isla walked up to the cabinet and tried to reach the Sekimeiya with her arm. You are here. I haven't been What the hell? What are you doing? Seeing his expression, Isla dashed away before Kate ran to the cabinet. I said many times how important... Nobody cut him off, but that sentence never finished.
Whoa, what the fuck?
We'd all seen the same thing. Kate had run toward the Sekimeiya and made to grab it, then his entire figure vanished from the room. At the same time, the Sekimeiya had turned gray as if reacting to Kate's touch. While we exchanged speechless looks, we saw Akaro staring through the hallway A door.
What the fuck did you just do?
We approached it and saw Kate in the hallway closest to the security room. Katsuki was in just as much disbelief as the rest of us. I thought I must have missed something, but Sai's question confirmed we'd all interpreted it the same way.
Did this man just teleport?
Like ours, Kate's eyes lacked comprehension, and he only let out some words seconds after the minimal echo had faded away. Excuse me. I just traveled to the past.
What? Travel to the past? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
Nobody could accuse Kate of a trick, as we'd all seen him disappear. He was breathing heavily and started to move his arms, checking that his body worked as usual. That's a good reaction, actually. I know how it sounds, but that's what it felt like. No, what the hell just happened? It did feel like I went back a few seconds to when I was walking from the security room to the event room.
A few seconds, huh?
He slowly returned to the event room and stared at the Sekimeiya, which had changed colors. This thing is dangerous. Did it darken when I touched it? I know I felt it burning. While nobody answered, he approached it and put it inside the cabinet with its cushion, avoiding direct contact with it. What the hell? It turned white again.
Did you know this would happen?
What? Of course.
This is why you insisted we couldn't get the Sekimeiya out of this cabinet, that we shouldn't touch it, and it's why you never touched it directly when you brought it down.
What are you talking about? I'm as confused as you are. As he spoke, he manually locked the cabinet.
That thing just made you teleport out of the room, and either you or Naomi brought it to the attic. You knew what it would do. That's why the fucking footprints were so weird, like someone had disappeared right in front of the Sekimeiya.
Sai is really smart. The conversation began to sound utterly surreal, but Sai was making sense. If the Sekimeiya had really teleported Kate, it recontextualized a few things. What are you even accusing me of? I touched it and instantly found myself in the hallway. I have no clue how it happened. I can't even believe what I'm saying. I couldn't help but agree with Sai. Kate had rushed to the Sekimeiya as soon as he'd seen it above the cabinet, and he touched it with his own skin in his panic despite his previous caution on the top floor. I came here after hearing voices to inform you that I hadn't been able to power the computer back on. And unbelievable as it seemed, it sounded like he was trying to change the subject. I still have more things to try, though. I know I've repeated myself quite a few times, but it's clear now that the Sekimeiya must be kept here. Okay, so if he is lying, why would he rush forward and touch it? Is it because he doesn't know how much time travel power it had absorbed, so he wanted to use it real quick before anyone else had a chance to?
I don't know, I'm so distracted by the fact that bro time traveled and now he's right back to being a cop about it.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, is that a clue? Like, sure, wouldn't, if you just did that, wouldn't you be like, wow, the power, what I could do with this? Like, I want to experiment with this. Like, this is interesting. But instead, he's just like, no, we must obey the rules, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. My brain isn't firing on all cylinders today, so it's all up to you, Chief.
Me neither. We're just gonna be surprised.
Yay!
By revelations that we already know.
So worrying how Kate is blatantly wrong all the time. That's true. He is just constantly incorrect.
He's incorrect so often that I feel like it must be a red herring, that he's just confused because of time travel shit that's happening around him.
Oh. He's just really passionate about security. Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, that could be it. You said it. I'm not reading that, August. You said it made you travel to the past, but you're just going to ignore that?
I know I don't want to try it again, whatever might have really happened. I have very little information about the Sekimeiya, but this is no ordinary gem, as expected. It has to stay here until the shutter opens. There's no way it isn't dangerous, and the cold temperature must keep it stable in some way. I wasn't given any information on why it's essential, but Naomi must know more about it, or might know more about it, so we come back to the same point. We must find her. He walked toward us, and then to hallway A. If I manage to power the computer and cameras back on, that'll be the best way to find her. Then he walked to the security room and left our field of vision.
What the fuck? He did it again. Did he think we're idiots? He walked away from a stone that made him teleport and didn't demand the keys. You're right, yeah. If he wanted to keep it locked in his cabinet, he would have made sure to ask for those back. He's definitely working with Naomi. Whatever it is, he isn't being truthful in the slightest.
So he already has his keys, is what's going on. We have duplicate, maybe?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Unlock it again.
Of course, after all that Kate had said, we could just take the Sekimeiya out of the cabinet again, and it was fairly stupid to think that we wouldn't. Without thinking about it, Katsuki undid Kate's lock. He opened the glass and once again took out the cushion holding the Sekimeiya. The gemstone had gone back to glowing white, but Katsuki didn't place it anywhere. He looked at it curiously with both of his hands occupied. What? Do we touch it? Most of us looked skeptical and even embarrassed to try. Sai, the largest of us, who I'd imagined would be the first to attempt it, appeared hesitant. We were staring at the Sekimeiya when in an instant the opposite door had become our focus. From behind the shut door to hallway B came a sound we had to confirm we'd heard. Naomi, it has to be her. We all got closer to the door and Akaro opened it. Just expecting Nanjo for no reason. The hallway was empty, but it contained many doors none of us had entered yet. It came from pretty close to the door, but it looks like she hid already.
Was she listening and ran away when she realized she'd been heard?
We left the way to the lobby open, but if Naomi had been sneaking up on us, it was possible she closed herself behind one of the multitude of doors we could see. If that was the case, we finally had a chance to confront her, and we're going to leave the Sekimeiya out while we're doing this.
Yay!
We hadn't yet inspected the whole crystal floor, and we still had to locate her. The Sekimeiya rolled slightly on top of the cushion, which Atsuki laid on the floor next to him. Meanwhile, the rest of us opened door after door and briefly looked through each room. All the crystal rooms were empty, and midway we noticed that some of the cabinets could be opened to real spacious interiors. The staff room contained numerous lockers we couldn't open, and the small cleaning room had several cleaning products, a large cart, and some buckets. In the end, we hadn't found anyone in hallway B or in the bathrooms. But we knew we had heard a person, so we didn't stop there. While Katsuki continued looking through hallway B, we went down to the mechanical room, which was empty and somewhat foreboding, with its light bulb in the dark. Kate was kneeling under the desk in the security room. We quietly ignored him and searched through hallway A's rooms. Again, every crystal room was identical except for the one that had been hit by the smoke. Like the storeroom, though, it was empty. We knew Naomi had been very close to us, but we'd failed to find her, and we had to prioritize the Sekimeiya before extending the search to the higher floors. Exasperated, we returned to see Atsuki waiting on the spot where we'd last seen him. On the floor were the cushion and the Sekimeiya. When it was clear we hadn't found anyone, he looked at them. Remember the smell from the attic? It might have come from the Sekimeiya. I started noticing it here some time ago.
Oh, huh.
I'm going to touch it.
Don't do it!
I felt slight traces of tension for a second. Was it really possible he was about to travel through time? I didn't think I could really take that seriously, but seeing him about to try made me uncomfortable. It was almost laughable how all of us looked on in anticipation, trying to confirm whether we'd lost our minds or not. His hand got closer and closer to the gem until no distance separated from him, and then he's the one that made the noise. Whoop. As he touched it, he was instantly no longer touching it. Atsuki was gone, and the Sekimeiya turned gray, not teleporting.
It's funny to see that from the other side for once.
Ooh. Everybody else was occupied with the realization that Sekimeiya's powers were real, but I ran forward, receiving another sound from hallway B. The door wasn't fully closed, so I opened it all the way. I heard a sound just as Katsuki had disappeared, and I knew someone was there. The instant I peeked around it, I saw him. Hesitantly glancing from hallway C was Katsuki, whose eyes pierced mine until he removed himself from behind the corner. Slowly, he began to walk up to me as I wondered what to say.
So it worked? You went to the past?
Yes, I suppose so. I can't believe it though. Everyone else was petrified, suppressing their sheer shock, but I noticed that someone who should have been there was missing.
Wow. Is Sai not here? Oh, you're right. I don't think he's been here for a bit.
How is this possible? I don't get it, but if you went to the past, why didn't you appear in this room? That's what happened to Kate. I don't think I traveled a few seconds through time, but actually minutes, about 20, I'd say. Oh, what? That long ago? We were still in the attic, right? Katsuki nodded, clearly disconcerted. We could only look at the Sekimeiya, which was a different color than it should have been. Let me see. He crouched again and placed his hand on it. It's not doing anything, and it's cold. It must do nothing when it's this color. Or it's just a thought, but maybe I traveled farther because it spent more time out of the cabinet. When Kate touched it, it had barely been out for any time at all. He grabbed the cushion with both hands and walked it to the cabinet. Mere seconds after he put it back in its place, the Sekimeiya started glowing again.
This again?
We could only stare in confusion as he closed the glass. The keyring had been left in the keyhole, so he took it out before thinking about how to phrase what he wanted to say. I still can't believe what just happened to me, but I think we should go along with what Kate said and leave this in the cabinet until we can leave. I frowned a little while he locked the cabinet with the wheel. He held out his arm to hand me the keyring, which I put in my purse without question, even though it confused me.
I mean, what else would we do?
I mean, fuck around with the time travel egg. Like,
of course.
Mouse, when you, yeah, right? You fuck around with the time travel egg.
Fuck around with the time travel egg. You're fucking locked in here anyway. Like, come on.
Yeah. Katsuki didn't answer, but I imagined the way he'd internally responded to that question. A few days ago, I'd heard the words, "I wish I could go back in time," coming out of his mouth right before he time traveled. He said, "I wish I could time travel." I couldn't believe he was actually going to casually leave the Sekimeiya locked away. Honestly, that would have been ideal. I've been expecting a much different reaction, but I couldn't discard it entirely. You could have easily been trying to fool the others by giving the keys to me. No one spoke up, probably only thanks to the fact that Sai wasn't around. Akaro had indicated he wasn't in hallway A either, so we had no idea if he was even nearby.
Did you make the sound in hallway B earlier?
Oh yeah, I did. That was when I realized I had really traveled through time. I moved to the second floor fast enough to stay out of sight. You all got owned.
That's just insane. Were we actually searching for you? Where the hell is Naomi then?
We stepped into the gloomy hallway A.
Do you want me to take narration for a while, by the way?
Sure, go for it.
Actually, where is Sai? That's another good question. I know he was with us when we searched this hallway.
Did he go somewhere?
Annoyed, Akaro rapidly glanced through the doors. He's not here. Did you see what happened to him? He directed that question at Katsuki, who'd gone several minutes to the past and remained hidden.
No, I was on the second floor, so all I know is that he didn't go up.
He's still here, then. Faint sounds had been coming from the security room where Kite was. To confirm that he was alone, we walked up to the door. We could see him leaning back on the chair in defeat due to all the screens still being black.
Oh, I haven't been able to fix anything. I apologize. I'm completely lost. I don't even know what the issue is. Everything is properly arranged and connected, so unless no electricity is reaching the outlets, I'm out of ideas.
He crouched and crawled under the desk, failing to realize that Sai wasn't with us. We approached the worst security guard ever. We approached him and silently stared while he kept repeating how confused he was from the floor.
And you still haven't found Naomi? You were inspecting this floor just now, right?
Yeah, she wasn't here.
That's very strange. She might have been able to keep dodging us, but there's no way that'll work for too long. There's no place where she could hide forever.
He crawled out and let himself fall back onto the chair, looking exhausted. Behind him, all of us kept silent. We were all digesting the fact that time travel had occurred right in front of us, but it didn't seem like Kate found that particularly relevant, as he only looked concerned about his computer. It is true that Sai could have Sekimeiya out of the building, climbed the wall like a spider, then gone in a higher floor window. That is true, yeah. I noticed that Katsuki was remaining by himself next to the door. I wouldn't have approached him, but I saw him staring curiously into the distance. Is there anything... Oh, the elevator? As soon as I glanced at hallway C, I could see that the elevator's door was very slightly open.
It's not closed. Yeah.
What? Akaro approached us with a frown, but Kate addressed it before he got far.
Oh, it's been like that for a while. I noticed it when we walked down from the attic and figured the others purposely left it like that. We didn't. It must not have closed properly when you got off then. I've seen it happen in the past. I see. I didn't notice it.
Big Katsuki. Me neither. Wait, I just remembered the hallway B camera, the one that had its lens completely clean. Going by their looks, Akaro and Kate didn't know what I was talking about. Excuse me?
Right, the one above the door to the lobby.
Yeah, its footage was being displayed up there.
Are you serious?
Both of them hurried out of the room while the rest of us awkwardly stayed put. Isla, clinging to her mother's legs, had become a little more relaxed. She inquisitively looked around, time travel evidently not much of a weight on her mind. During the silence, I approached the computer. I was slightly interested in its mysterious shutdown, but I didn't examine it too thoroughly. It didn't take the others long to return. You saw it, right? What the hell? Was it cleaned?
There's no way we would know. Why are they so interested?
We looked at Kate, who's put his hand in one of his deep pockets, but took it back out empty.
I don't have it anymore, but do you remember when... Wait, where the hell is Sai? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. After looking at each other, we let him know we'd recently lost track of Sai. Before Kate could get too alarmed, Akaro cut in. What were you going to say? We've already searched for Sai and the Sekimeiya is locked in the cabinet.
The duct tape, remember? Oh,
no.
Not again. Sai took out my keyring and had a piece of duct tape attached to it. That piece had smoke residue on it.
We all remembered what he was talking about and began to understand why he'd brought it up.
I know it was duct tape because one side was still sticky, which means that it was only hit on the front side. In other words, Sumari. It was stuck somewhere when the smoke was released.
Where did it even come from?
When I walked down to the crystal floor searching for you, I found it hidden behind a handrail and put it in my pocket to inquire about it. That's when it got stuck to the keyring.
Yeah, that was a Sumari from your whole chest there. That was an emphatic one.
So, big Katsuki again.
Yeah.
So it was placed on the lens of that camera, which prevented the smoke from hitting it. Afterwards, it was removed. That's a jump. I'm confused about a few things. Why would someone do that? They had to already know the smoke attack would happen.
And it was removed before we entered the security room. Additionally, leaving it behind a handrail seemed strange. If they wanted to throw it away, flushing it down the toilet seemed ideal, as fingerprints could otherwise present a problem. That logic led to the thought that Kate, who might have orchestrated the whole thing, had the opportunity to place the duct tape himself and keep it in his pocket, unaware that we'd find it. I opted not to speculate about that out loud and let everyone else come to the conclusions they wanted. In the end, Kate sighed and sat on his chair again.
It is kind of suspicious that after the camera thing, he immediately went to the duct tape in his pocket like he already had that conclusion.
Yeah.
What the hell is Naomi doing? We can't even use the computer to figure anything out. Do you all think Sai ran away on his own? Now we need to find both of them.
We lost track of him when we were searching this hallway, which would have been a good opportunity to sneak away. I have no idea why he'd do that, though. Once again, Kate pressed the computer's power button in frustration while looking at all the powered-off screens.
Maybe now you can believe that he was the one up to something. I'm just trying to do my job.
Whether they believed him or not, nobody spoke up for a while. Even if two people had traveled through time, we all had our own reasons to keep still in the narrow room, prioritizing internal thoughts before going out to find the two missing people. I also want to say I appreciate you pronouncing the T in duct tape. Thank you. Thank you. I also say February.
February.
We were still behind Kate's chair awaiting any decision when noise came from the door. How about Wednesday? I don't say Wednesday, I say Wednesday. As we turned around, we saw Sai staring at us next to the unassertive Katsuki. Chad Sai next to Virgin Katsuki.
Why Katsuki? Why say fuck Katsuki for? What the fuck? Where's this unassertive come from? Where were you?
Me? I just took a detour to the bathroom. Kate's smirk perfectly conveyed his reaction, but Sai ignored it. Instead, he slipped into the room. So what are we doing here? You still can't fix your own computer?
What do you think?
I think that we just found out we can travel to the past and are instead trying to fix a computer. Wouldn't it be a better idea to go back in time and see who did this?
You really can't expect us to take you seriously.
Sai, what were you doing just now? You definitely weren't in the bathroom. Did you check all of them?
You have to go upon him. Whatever he was doing will be exposed eventually.
Anyway, who has the keys now? I have them. I see. Is there a reason why we're here?
No, we should try to find Naomi again.
That's what I'm saying. As Sai left the room, we all exchanged looks, wondering what his intentions really were. We began to disperse into hallway A behind him. Katsuki hadn't yet moved from the door, and his expression had gotten considerably murkier. I had no idea what it meant anymore, so I walked up to him. She hates him. Is it going better?
Huh? Sorry, I don't know. I was just in my mind palace. I just read aloud fucking 5,000 words. I just can't believe it. I really traveled through time.
Well, I can't believe it either. Are you sure you don't want to do it again?
What? Travel through time?
Yeah.
No, of course I do.
Hmm.
I'm trying to understand some things. I traveled a few minutes to the past to the attic, which might make sense. I'm not sure if that's enough, though.
Oh, I see. He didn't seem to even notice my reply. Since he'd gone quiet again, I walked away slowly. He's just like his eyes just fade. They just fucking unfocus and he stares at the wall. Holy shit. When Sai saw that, he approached me and spoke in a hushed tone so that his words reached only my ears. Think Katsuki's hiding something, right? What? You definitely know him, but you realized something he said didn't make sense. What the hell are you talking about? Am I wrong? He traveled to the past with the Sekimeiya, that much I know. Then he simply reunited with you guys. Am I missing something? No? What are you getting at? You can see the paragraphs in the reflection of his eyes if you look close enough. If I'm not missing anything, I don't know. However, he is hiding something, and apparently even from you. I'm sure he'll want to use the Sekimeiya again, so if he doesn't tell you that, assume that he's lying and try to stop him. Trying his best to sound mysterious, I walked away. The two most suspicious people there had inquired about Katsuki, and once again, I could only laugh inwardly as I sighed outwardly. Try to stop him. They didn't need to tell me that, but I wouldn't do anything. In any case, given that I'd been told the same thing again, it was very possible Katsuki was actually trying to pull something off. If Naomi's really hiding, we'll never find her if we go in one group. Let's disperse ourselves through the building. There's no way we'll miss her if we do that. What a good idea! In the blink of an eye, Katsuki and I were the only remaining people in hallway A. Isla had dragged Arena into a crystal room, Akaro had disappeared off to hallway C, and Sai and Kite had gone up the stairs individually. Despite sharing a common objective, there was no coordination, and everyone had silently chosen their own path to take.
Interesting difference.
We were left a little puzzled as everyone had walked away from the Sekimeiya, which only I could take out of the cabinet. Was it because Katsuki told us he didn't want to use it? I couldn't exactly ask anyone.
Well, what do we do?
You're asking me? I don't know, I'm just tired.
Me too. You've been awake for longer, though.
I know.
I suppose we go to the attic. You have the key, right?
She's so mean. Yeah, but we probably shouldn't go in alone, and splitting up to find Naomi won't work if half of us stay still.
I'm not sure it'd work anyway. If the exit closed as the alarm went off and she's hiding somewhere, she must be confident she won't be found. And if she's working with Kate, he's definitely confident we won't find her. We've already been everywhere in this building, so I don't think it's essential that we keep looking for her. If she can be found, it'll happen eventually.
What do you want then?
I want to go to the attic. I need to lie down for a bit.
We've been told not to enter without Kate's consent, but he was the one who let us keep the keys. I hesitated, but I had no reason to object, so I just shrugged and headed over to the elevator. I noticed something had changed when I reached for the handle. The door's not open anymore.
Oh yeah, it was earlier. Sai used it.
That makes sense, and it's still here. There was no resistance when I tried to open the door, meaning that Sai had gotten off on the crystal floor. Katsuki nodded before stepping in. I took the keyring from my purse and inserted the attic key into the first keyhole. The light around the floor of 7 button activated, and after pressing it, we began to ascend. I didn't know what to think of Katsuki, but we were at least getting far away from the Sekimeiya, which felt as strange as everyone else having left. With dull eyes, he stared at the door until the trip ended. I just wish we'd gone to sleep the previous night.
Wasn't the door open on the first floor, meaning that the elevator couldn't have been used?
Yes.
So, Sai came downstairs when they were in the security room, got in the elevator, went upstairs, and then put it back down again? Or how could he have gotten off on the crystal floor?
Or he didn't use it at all and just moved the thing blocking it.
He just closed the door? I wonder if Katsuki is lying or just assuming.
Katsuki would never make an assumption that proves wrong later for a plot device. That would be crazy. I felt a little uncomfortable stepping onto the wooden floor, aware that there were about to be cameras pointed right at us. That sensation didn't seem to be shared by Katsuki, who directly approached the living room.
It doesn't look like anyone else has been here.
Sounding a lot like Kate right now. Godot calling me a real Erica when I criticized the Sekimeiya. Plenty of footprints were still visible, and I figured Katsuki knew they were the same one we'd seen before leaving.
Hey, hasn't the smell from earlier faded away a lot?
And I pronounced the second O in uncomfortable. Do people not? Do they say uncomfort? Uncomfort? How do you?
I'm uncomfortable.
Comfort. Uncomfortable.
I am uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
I'm a very lazy linguist. I skip over a lot of syllables.
I don't think I can
It's a
physically.
flaw.
I don't think I can physically do that actually.
What, skip over something or what?
Uncomfortable. I can't say uncomfortable any way than the way I am. Uncomfortable. What?
Uncomfortable.
I can't do that. I can't do that. Anyway, no. Oh, I think you're right.
I'm so exhausted. Even if we shouldn't be here, at least nobody will bother us, assuming Naomi really can't get in. Hi, Gatsby.
Hi, Gatsby. He walked down the hallway, sighing deeply. After choosing to open the right door, I heard him falling onto the bed. I entered the room and recalled that there was only one bed. He was already lying face down, all energy drained out of him. Bro just face planted on the bed. He's gonna fucking... Oh my god, it's such a funny reversal that he's just so fucking miserable. Like he's just like the biggest drag because his friend died, and then she's here like just trash talking him in her head. Sorry.
Katsuki's been a real drag since his friend died. Yeah, he's acting like Kraus with the tummy ache before the conference.
I know. Shiroya was his only motivator. Damn. I stood by the door for a moment and then closed it after stepping in. I could have gone to the neighboring room, but I decided to go to the upper level instead.
Oh.
There, I shakily sat on one of the beds, finding my situation unnerving. My whole body was stiff, and my mind felt numb. After a while, I managed to lie down, and the mattress reminded my body how tired it was. I have terrible news about the Sekimeiya, by the way.
What? Is it gone?
I feel compelled to make a chart. I want to draw things.
Whoa, where's this come from?
Because I want
Digging
to
up the
track.
pillow?
Because I want to track all of the. Now that we have 2 timelines, which I have to assume are running in tandem or something, I really want to like literally map out, like draw out, like where everybody is at each moment in time in each timeline, and track where they use the Sekimeiya and whether there's swapping happening between them and what I see the vision. I see the vision. I don't have the tools. The notes don't give me the tools. I need fucking like a giant whiteboard, like a crazy person whiteboard, and it's in my head. I'm not gonna do it, but I have the impulse. It makes me miserable.
Really? You need a whiteboard to do that? I am
Fuck
simply
off.
keeping track in my head at all times.
Get out. Get out.
This level of reasoning is...
I need like the holodeck. I need the holodeck. I need to go into the holodeck and be like, computer, give me. I just activated my Amazon Alexa by doing that. Okay, anyway. I didn't fight the tiredness. Under foreign bed sheets recorded by a camera on that forbidden floor, I pushed my consciousness away until it dissipated. Bro, he has to stop reading Umineko. Erica's taking over his ass like the symbiote. That's true. You do have a lot of Erica stims right now for someone who...
She's funny. She's funny.
Oh my god. Okay. When I woke up... Okay. Biggest Erica fan. When I woke up, I realized I must not have slept for very long, as I didn't feel like I had dreamed at all. I was still uneasy, and I hadn't turned off the light. While I didn't know the time, it was fairly likely that people were looking for us and couldn't get in the attic. I didn't care anymore. My back hurt, and I was just as tired as before. I slowly stood up and approached the light switch. But my hand stopped before touching it, and so did my whole body. Did I just do this? Did I do that? I'd noticed something very important next to the bed. There was only one thing I did before falling asleep, look at my purse. I'd stared at it and then forced myself to look away, nervous that it was so out in the open. Because if I'd fallen asleep, someone could have looked inside, and that was something that couldn't happen. Ooh. I crouched very slowly and then looked at it from the same position as before. It moved. It wasn't like that when I fell asleep. The difference was minimal, but I noticed it immediately, and it was no mistake. No, did he? Or did I just poke it when I stood up? I widened the opening with my fingers and looked inside. Everything's here. Nothing had been taken, but that didn't settle it. The keys were inside. If someone had gone through my purse, it was very likely those keys were the target, but they were very far from my concern. Katsuki and I should have been alone in the attic, which had both of its entrances locked. I suddenly wasn't sensing my tiredness anymore. I grabbed my purse and approached the hatch. It was shut, so I slowly lifted it up. Are you awake?
Yes. I only slept for a few minutes and couldn't do it again.
How do you know it was only a few minutes?
Huh? That's just what it felt like. Did you just wake up?
I took a few seconds to reply while I climbed down the ladder. The light was turned on and the sheets over him were in disarray. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been.
I spent a very long time trying to sleep again, so I think at least 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yawn. Yeah, Atsuki pretty fucking sus right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. Are you still tired?
No, I'm fine now.
I see. This is us playing Final Fantasy.
I felt as if part of my mind had cleared up. We'd seriously gotten trapped in the building and Katsuki had traveled through time. Could that be true? Could that really have happened? He sat on the bed and stretched his arms. It was so absurd that I hadn't been able to react when I'd seen him teleport. It had all suddenly happened with no room for doubt, but what was going on? Only after waking up had I begun to comprehend how strange it was that he'd wanted to go to the attic. That is pretty fucking weird. Did you hear anything outside the bedroom?
No, we might really have the only key to this place.
Since I didn't want to ask, I approached the door. The chain wasn't set, so I turned the handle to see if he'd locked it. The door opened smoothly, indicating that anyone could have made their way in.
Do you want to go back down? I was waiting for you to wake up. I'm not as tired anymore.
Yeah, sure. Was I being toyed with? The more seconds passed, the more I felt that way. Katsuki stood up and silently walked to the hallway.
Nobody crossed this carpet. I can hardly see the footprints anymore. You have the key with you, right?
Yeah?
Well, we should probably use the elevator again, so I don't think we'll need it.
He tried to open the door, but he couldn't.
I suppose someone called it while we were sleeping.
I leaned on the wall while he pressed the button. I was acting disinterested naturally, but I couldn't get the sight of my purse out of my head. What's she got in that thing? The silent orange light indicated the elevator's arrival. Katsuki pulled the door open and we walked in.
A knife. That's how a knife gets in here.
Oh shit, you're right. The elevator began to descend toward the lowest floor, the destination that Katsuki had chosen.
I guess we'll have to apologize for going up, but we really were tired. I wonder if they found Naomi.
Katsuki was resembling Kite more and more to me, and I didn't know if I could trust him. Damn. Behind him was the red stop button, which Kite claimed would confine us inside until the alarm's effects automatically reverted. But I didn't dare touch it, allowing the doors to open. After Katsuki pushed open the outer one, hallway C came into sight, just as barren as we remembered it. Let's go to the security room. Maybe we can look at the time.
I wonder if they're going to trap someone in the elevator with the Sekimeiya at some point. Go into the elevator with your Sekimeiya on you, and then hit the button and then use it to teleport out.
Oh, that would be evil. The light was on, but no screens were. That meant that Sai's watch was still all we had.
It hasn't been fixed. I can't hear anyone, but they should be somewhere on this floor.
Katsuki was ready to leave, but I couldn't help but feel iffy about the computer's shutdown. Kite was the only one who tried to fix it. Since we were alone, I crouched under the desk and stared at the mess of cables that Kite had been examining. After glancing back and forth, an oddity stood out.
Can you even see properly down there?
Yeah, and this cable isn't plugged in.
Huh?
I don't know what it's for, but Kite said that everything was in place.
Can you tell where it should go?
The angle was uncomfortable on my neck, but I strained to look behind the computer tower and found a slot that could fit. Forced to use my left hand, I grabbed the cable and managed to plug it into the computer. I don't know if that did anything, but it's plugged in now. I clambered out as Katsuki pressed the power button. A few seconds later, the system began to run.
Are you serious?
The first time Sai did this, right? Sai plugged it in?
I think it was Sai, yeah.
The middle screen lit up and a loading logo glowed.
I don't get it. Did Kate do this and hope we wouldn't look at the cables?
I began to gather hope, but it dissipated as soon as the computer turned off again. Huh? Is it still not working? Confused, Katsuki powered it on one more time. The same thing happened. Seconds after running, it automatically powered off. Katsuki looked under the desk in case he could spot the problem.
I don't see anything clearly wrong. Maybe the operating system got damaged?
I see. We need to tell the others about this, especially Kite.
Right.
We were about to leave when Katsuki remembered what I'd said.
Oh wait, we might still be able to look at the time.
He walked back toward the computer and powered it on. While it was running, he looked at the screen and pressed one of the suggested keys. Then the screen changed.
I just accessed the BIOS.
Oh,
if I knew more about computers, I might be able to pinpoint the issue, but look here.
In the top right corner, 1316 was displayed in black digits. Oh, 1 o'clock already. I guess I did sleep for over 2 hours.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Huh? I didn't hear anything. He warily walked to the hallway A door and looked through it.
I think I heard something in the lobby.
Seeing how cautious he was, I approached it myself. Nobody was there. Still fazed by the imposing shutter, Katsuki walked forward a little.
Did I imagine it?
Both other doors were shut. Katsuki circled the room at a slow pace and stopped to smell the air. Then he continued his circle with a frown.
People in this story are allergic to just calling out and saying, hey, who's there?
Yeah, they really are.
Just call out, yeah. There's this open drawer. It wasn't like this before, was it?
They need to do roll call, and everybody from all 7 floors is like, it's me, I'm on floor 6.
Exactly.
It'd make it a lot easier for them. I moved over to him. Behind the reception desk, one of the drawers wasn't fully closed. Oh no, I don't think so. We looked inside and confirmed there was nothing in it. Then Katsuki proceeded to open all the other drawers.
There's only papers in a few of them.
That's strange. I honestly can't be sure it wasn't open before.
Something else we'll have to ask.
While walking toward hallway B, Katsuki noticed I still hadn't moved.
What's up?
Come back. You hear this faint buzz, right?
Yes, it's coming from below, right?
It's the boiler. I was thinking that it must be really annoying to work at this chair with this constant noise. But then I thought it might not have been as noticeable before. You didn't go to the mechanical room, but the rest of us did. I'm not sure it was audible from up here.
Oh.
He looked at the door he'd not yet gone through. Actually, I remember beginning to hear the sound as we were going down the stairs. As soon as he opened it, the intensity of the sound strengthened. There was no light on the stairs, and they immediately made a sharp turn. You could not fucking pay me to be in the same building, let alone... If I heard a boiler acting up, I would be on the 7th floor immediately. I'm so fucking scared of boilers exploding. I have one in my cellar right now, and I hate it so much.
Exploding? Really?
Yeah, they explode.
I didn't know they could do that.
Boilers will just fucking explode. When I first moved into my house, the guy who lived here before had fucked with the settings on the boiler, and my basement was like a carbon monoxide trap, and I had to pay to get the whole thing replaced.
Oh, shit.
They did it on
New fear
Mythbusters a
unlocked?
bunch. Interesting. Yep.
You think the boiler got louder then?
Oh, that's not what I meant. After a few steps forward, I confirmed my assumption. The short door leading to the mechanical room was partially open. It's this door. It was shut when we came, so the sound didn't reach us. I don't remember if we closed it when we left.
Ah, I see. So at most, it means that someone went down here, but I'm sure they searched for us and Naomi. It's fine. The
Katsuki,
mystery,
what are
an
you...
open door.
What are you doing? He began descending the stairs. If he'd really heard a sound coming from the lobby, it was possible someone was under us. After widening the gap of the door, he stepped into the basement room, which was constantly beset by the buzzing noise. I stopped behind him, waiting for my eyes to adjust to the illumination the faint light bulb offered. But even when that happened, the darkness still reigned. Katsuki started to walk slowly in order to comprehend where he was.
I don't think there's anyone here.
This background fills me with so much foreboding. I'm so scared every time that I'm gonna get jump scared. I like sit up in my chair.
Yep.
I could discern a few pieces of furniture that Katsuki had moved aside and the walls closest to me. Strangely, I felt relieved to hear there was nobody with us, even though we wanted to find the others.
Wait. No. Look.
I thought we were about to leave, but that wasn't the case. I approached the dark blob Katsuki was next to until it was revealed to be a pile of chairs. Behind it on the floor was an abnormal, weak glow. The Sekimeiya, the gemstone we'd come to see and which possessed a mysterious power. Immobile on the floor, it resembled the ceiling light.
So I was right. Kate had the key, and he used it while we were in the attic.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I'm not sure why he'd hide the Sekimeiya, though.
I don't think it makes any sense. He would have had better places to hide it, like his locker.
You think so? We could force him to open it at any time, and it would be easily found after the exit opened. Or Katsuki is the one that did it, went down, opened it, used it down here, and is like kind of nudged us into this direction so he could find it again to put it back.
Katsuki crouched next to the Sekimeiya and stared at it. It would be risky though, because that would be counting on her not waking up.
Yeah.
Are you gonna use it? We don't know how long it's been here for, so it might not be a good idea.
What do you mean?
Well, if the time you travel depends on how long it spends out of the cabinet, you could go really far back.
Oh, I see.
Once again, he went quiet. I had no idea what he was thinking, but I knew I didn't like it. Sai had warned me not to let Katsuki get his hands on the Sekimeiya, and I had no idea why. All I knew was that he was keeping some of his thoughts to himself, and I suspected he'd lied to me. He was concocting something. That I was sure of. Not only because I knew him, he'd outright admitted it to me. For once, the silence wasn't entirely pure. The mechanical room's noise was pervasive. Minutes after staring at the gemstone, Katsuki's hand hovered over it. What are you doing?
It's hot, the air around it.
Oh, that's weird.
When I touched it earlier, I felt a zap for an instant before I teleported. I have no idea how, but it heated up really fast. When I was holding the cushion from below, it went from cold to hot in a minute.
I didn't know how to answer, but the bizarre situation sunk in even further. What the hell was the Sekimeiya, and what was it doing with us? Are you going to use it to change the past?
I don't know.
That answer reinforced everything I'd been feeling. He could not know. He knew exactly what his goal was, and I did too. So why was he acting so reserved? But he didn't flesh out his answer, opting to resume his silence. Even though I couldn't see his face, his slow breathing told me all I needed to know. I might have pushed the issue further if something hadn't hit me. When he teleported, after mentioning the time he touched the Sekimeiya, a glaring contradiction I'd previously ignored reared its head. You traveled to the attic, right?
Yes.
He's lying. There's no way he traveled to the attic. Does he not realize that it doesn't make sense? He said he traveled 20 minutes to the past. At that point, all of us were in the attic as well. That's fine, depending on where he appeared. It's not like he erased his past self, right? So if he appeared in one of the rooms after they'd been investigated, we wouldn't have seen him. But there's a big problem. Where in the attic did you appear?
In the kitchen, and I'm pretty sure that's because I went there before we left. It's something I was trying to figure out earlier.
Ah. No, he's lying. The only part of the attic where he could have appeared is the staircase at the entrance. Every other place doesn't make sense. When we searched the whole floor, we made sure nobody could sneak past us. Kate waited in the corner of the hallway and Akaro in the living room. As Arena said, 20 minutes before the time he traveled, all of us were still in the attic and were about to leave. Katsuki, who had traveled, didn't deny that. According to him, he appeared in the kitchen and then we left. That's not right. For some reason, the elevator started functioning again and Sai called it. Then he, Akaro, Arena, and Ayla went to the crystal floor with it. However, Kate, Katsuki, and I left through the main door and locked it. Katsuki, after appearing in the kitchen, wouldn't have been able to leave the attic. He couldn't have left through the staircase before us because there were no footprints that started from the kitchen. When we left, we locked the main door, but most importantly, we learned that when the three of us arrived at the crystal floor, Kate saw the door of the elevator slightly open. How does he not understand that what he's saying is impossible? The elevator remained open on the crystal floor until a time after he'd already reunited with us. If he was in the attic, he couldn't have called it. It just doesn't work. When we were in the security room, the elevator was still open, and it had to be either Sai or Naomi who finally closed it. Could it be that it wasn't the group of four who left the door open? Is it possible Katsuki used the elevator immediately after them, and it was actually him who didn't close it properly? I don't think he would have had enough time to call it back and go all the way down, and it's very unlikely the others wouldn't have seen him. It's even possible we would have heard the elevator going up and down from the offices. So how did he leave the attic? It's not possible. He couldn't have. Both methods were unavailable. The only way would have been with the key that I have. Even if he somehow got out, maybe by Naomi unlocking the door, he should have mentioned that it was unlocked when it wasn't supposed to be. He's definitely lying. I became aware of the smell surrounding me, the one which almost seamlessly blended in. Its cold sensation had persisted in my nostrils since the first time we'd encountered it, so it hadn't immediately been evident that it had strengthened again.
Did he have a key to the attic at that time? And so when he moored back, he had a replacement key?
I have no idea.
I wish he would call him out on this so we could find information. Like, I don't think he's lying.
I don't think he's lying either. I think this is part of the trick of how it works.
Yeah. All right. And this is like the story setting up whoever we are to be like suspicious of him and go against him.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's like there's the third thing, like Kate, then Sai, and now she's caught a lie, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll touch it. There's one thing I absolutely have to confirm.
And what is that?
Whether or not the past can be changed.
You think it can?
I don't know. I wasn't able to change anything last time. I have no idea how this will work. I'll disappear from this room and appear somewhere else. If I try to change what I experienced, I don't know how the universe will react. Perhaps you won't notice any difference and I'll branch the world. Maybe this reality will instantly morph into the one I'm making.
Despite how ridiculous he sounded, all he was really saying was that he was about to leave me there. That maybe I'd stay in the world he disappeared from while he went on to find his better reality. It was annoying. And given everything else going on in my head, I simply shrugged. He would leave me behind with the Sekimeiya, which would be a great chance to fulfill Sai's request.
What was Sai's request?
To keep the Sekimeiya away from him, I guess, maybe?
Is that it?
I guess.
I was going to say that if the past can't be changed, I'll be above the stairs after I disappear, but there's no way that'll be the case. If I was there right now, I'd try to make a loud noise to change the past, so I have no clue what's about to happen.
This is the fucking... He literally just said he doesn't know how it works, and then he's like, well, I guess that's not... sorry. He's so fucking stupid. Okay, alright. I'm sitting back up. He didn't talk about it further, thank fucking God. Finally, the hand that had been teasing contact for so long dropped to touch the shining gem. Instantly, Katsuki's outline disappeared. What? And with it, the darkness disappeared as well. I almost fell in place. Before I could crouch to grab the Sekimeiya, the door to the lobby was in front of me. I was in hallway A. While the illumination was poor, it wasn't comparable to the mechanical room, mostly thanks to the light coming from the event room. I had teleported. Nothing else could have happened. I took one step forward and confirmed that my legs still worked.
Oh.
A voice came from over my shoulders. I turned around and saw Katsuki, who'd stiffened.
Did I just appear out of nowhere?
What? No, that's what happened to me.
Wait.
Were you just in the mechanical room?
Yes, I touched the Sekimeiya a second ago.
I showed up here as soon as you did that. Are we in the past?
It teleported you as well? How come that didn't happen the other times? And both of us appeared here.
Hey, what the fuck? Where have you two been? Sai emerged from the event room. Behind him was Arena, who looked surprised to see us.
Has anything happened?
What? You've been gone for over 2 hours. Answer the question. Katsuki appeared wary, perhaps because Sai might have overheard what we'd been talking about. We entered the event room. Isla was with them, and she looked a little sad, standing next to the cabinet with its empty interior exposed. The Sekimeiya was probably still in the mechanical room at the moment.
We didn't get any sleep last night, so we were really tired and went to the attic. We woke up a few minutes ago.
What the fuck? You were sleeping? Why didn't you say anything?
Because Kate wouldn't have let us.
Excuse me? Was Kate not with you?
What? No, he wasn't. We went alone.
Where is he then? We haven't seen him either, not for a long time. He wasn't with us.
We thought the three of you were in the attic, which we couldn't enter. It was just the two of us.
What the fuck then?
You don't have any idea where you went?
Well, we thought you three were locked up there, so we didn't search everywhere. We even thought Naomi could have been with you since she's still missing. What about Akaro? Where is he? No idea, but I saw him not too long ago. He's been here the whole time. Do you still have the key to the attic? Yeah. I see. That's good.
Doesn't Kate also have a key to the attic? Did he? Yeah, he does. I remember he used it after he lied to say he didn't have one. So he could have gone to the attic and stolen. Why would he steal something out of our purse if he already has the key to the Sekimeiya cabinet too? Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Hold on. What happened to the Sekimeiya? Why is it not here?
We have no idea. We thought one of you came down to pick it up and brought it to the attic. The cabinet was locked and none of us had the key to unlock it. If you two didn't take it out, Kate and Naomi must have another key. It's been gone from the cabinet for a while, but Akaro and I searched this floor and found it in a drawer in the lobby. We put it back in here, and about 20 minutes ago we realized it had been taken out again. Again, Kate or Naomi did that if it wasn't one of you.
Oh, right. What time is it?
It's 1:19. He showed us his wristwatch. Immediately, Katsuki turned to face me. I knew why. At that moment, we'd just walked down the stairs to the mechanical room. We'd been down there for a while, and then we'd appeared in hallway A during the time we'd been in the security room. Katsuki wanted to change the past, and he had the chance to do so. I doubted that he wanted to be seen by his past self, but making a loud noise would serve as a confirmation that the possibility existed. If nothing else, I'd be able to witness it too, thanks to traveling with him. However, it was at that moment that a sound reached our ears. As we glanced at the hallway A door, the sound got louder. It didn't take much time for the door to open, revealing Akaro on the other side. Everyone present was surprised at the same time. While Akaro hadn't expected to see me and Katsuki, we hadn't expected to see who he was with either. At his side was Kate, who had supposedly been missing for quite some time. He stared at us hesitantly, evidently anticipating our reaction. Hey, what the fuck have you been doing? Remaining silent, Kate turned to the cabinet. You found them too? They said they were sleeping alone in the attic. Kate, what are you waiting for? Where the fuck have you been?
I've been here the whole time. Sigh.
I'm sorry.
I've been here this whole time. I didn't go anywhere.
What? Do you know how long it's been since we saw you? I'm being serious. Do you have any idea how long we've been looking around for you?
It's been almost 3 hours. I know. I couldn't have gone anywhere. I just came across Akaro 10 minutes ago.
I saw him in hallway C and asked him the same thing. He said he'd been here looking for us. We went to the 6th floor to find you since I'd seen you there earlier and I didn't know where Irina and Isla were. I looked at Katsuki, who'd been quiet for a while. He was thinking about something, as always. But was it along the lines of everyone showing up, meaning that the past couldn't change? It still should have been as simple as going to the lobby.
Where's the Sekimeiya? And did I hear you two were sleeping in the attic? Did I not tell you?
Shut up. What the fuck did that even mean?
What?
You said it's been almost 3 hours since we saw you. How the fuck do you even know that?
What? I answered your question.
Almost 3 hours is awfully precise, and it's correct. If you truly were here and for some reason didn't see anyone for 3 hours, would your sense of time be good enough to know that?
Are you doing this again? Trying to blame me for anything you can?
Yep. 'Cause you're a fucking liar. You haven't been here for hours. Where the fuck were you, and why are you back? The computer doesn't work, and I'm the only one with a watch. How did you accurately say you've been gone for 3 hours? Hey, did Naomi have a watch? Does anyone remember? The 3 members of the first group shrugged. Katsuki and I knew there was still a way to use the computer to know the time, but I didn't even get the chance to consider if we should mention it.
Do you want me to take narration until break?
Sure.
What? Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Didn't a sound come from the lobby? I didn't hear anything. Nobody had. Probably not even Katsuki, who took no time to exit the room. Our past selves still had to be in the mechanical room. If the past couldn't be changed, it meant that something would always prevent him from proceeding, but the arrival of Kate and Akaro hadn't conclusively proven it. Confused, the rest of us followed behind him and saw him opening the door to the lobby. Once he opened that door, he didn't take even a step forward. Instead, he froze in place, and as he stopped gripping the knob, he turned his head back to us. Who is this? We dashed to the door. When we looked through it, we immediately realized that wasn't the only question to ask. Isla, stay over there.
Oh.
A single body lay down on the floor over a vast pool of blood. There was no meaning to be found, no smell of blood, no identity of the corpse, but a death that defied reason. Furthermore, the past had changed, not because of the appearance of a body, but because of Irina's yell, which had spread through the crystal floor, a yell we hadn't heard while we'd been downstairs. I immediately understood that someone had been killed. I'd gone over the concept of death many times in my mind, so I simply stared at that dreamlike scene before I was pushed aside. All right, this time it feels like we switched over to a different timeline, not just gone back.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Isn't he? The shock had paralyzed everyone, and Kate was the first to snap out of it. He ran toward the body and turned around, trying not to step on all the blood around it.
Wait, I recognize him too. Wasn't he there?
Sai pointed at the shutter, prompting me to remember that I also knew the man who was dressed in a police uniform. Yes, that's where I saw him while we were waiting. Fuck. Katsuki's voice cracked. He wouldn't take his eyes off the body. Oh, I guess this is how they get food. He's been here at the tower recently. I don't know his name, but he was investigating a possible terrorist attack. Kate crouched and used 2 fingers to verify that there was no pulse. Like a fucking Chad. He didn't say it out loud. This is a knife wound. The uniform on his chest had been pierced a single time, but the knife in question wasn't there. A knife? How did this person get it? Look at the blood. This happened minutes ago.
He entered the same way Kate left.
Huh?
You've been missing for the last 3 hours. Just as you reappear, this person shows up dead. This is no coincidence.
What the hell are you talking about? How would I have left?
I don't know. You remember the Sekimeiya, right? As you said, it's not in the cabinet right now, and you're an excellent candidate to have taken it out. It's possible this man entered the tower after it was locked down, and if you did so too, your disappearance, your knowledge of the time, and the knife you're talking about would all make sense.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. I've been here the entire time, and I couldn't have unlocked the cabinet. Enraged, Kate pulled up the man's shirt and uncovered his waist. Yes, look at this. This is why I thought it must have been a knife. It was his own. He still has his baton, but his knife is gone. I personally saw that he had a knife right here a few days ago. He continued examining his clothes and pockets. Oh, he has a walkie-talkie. Hooray! Everyone's eyes widened until we saw Kate pressing every button and showing us its blank display.
Is it not working? Let me see.
Kate gave Ikaro the device. After fiddling with it for a while, he noticed what was wrong.
There's a battery missing, and the cover isn't properly attached. There's also a crack here on the bottom. Look. Does it work with normal batteries? Apparently, and this cover can be manually removed. Maybe they failed to break it by force and removed a battery instead. Are there batteries like these anywhere?
No, I really don't think so. There's just a drawer upstairs of watch replacement batteries, but not normal batteries. He left the device on the floor. Do security guards usually carry knives? My read on that was that he just knew that this guy liked to keep a knife tucked into his waist, and it's not because he's a security guard; it's because he's a prepper. So the killer did this to prevent us from talking to people outside once again. I have to assume that you still have not found Naomi, so instead of blaming me, consider that it's very possible this person has been here since we got trapped, and we didn't find him, just like we couldn't find Naomi. That is a wild thing to deduce. Kate's super sus right now.
Also, I think it's a police officer, not a security guard. I think there's a possibility it's the one we talked to, Sodipo. Okay, then the one we talked to on voice, on the call. Yeah. Okay, then you killed him?
Don't say stuff like that. I didn't do this. Just believe me.
Then who did? It seems like it could have been anyone, but your story is by far the most questionable one. Do we really have to keep listening to this Naomi boogeyman shtick?
Stop. Ikaro, is what you said earlier true, that you found Kate 10 minutes ago before coming to the event room?
Yeah. I don't know if it really was 10 minutes, though.
What time is it right now?
1:23.
It's unlikely Kate did this then. 6 minutes ago, this hadn't happened yet.
Is that so? You two were talking in hallway A. Did you look at the lobby? I recall the door was shut.
We did.
He's right.
At 1:17, we walked down to the mechanical room, which meant that the man had died while we'd been under him.
If you're not lying, then forget what I said. Everyone has an alibi unless 2 or more people did it. You two were together, Kite and Ikaro were together, and me, Irina, and Isla were together.
We looked past the door where Irina was crouching next to Isla, comforting her from a sight she hadn't seen. Despite that, she was burying her face in her arms. A dour mood had overtaken the entire group. I wasn't sure if it was because they had been exposed to death or because they feared the killer. Katsuki's demeanor had changed the least, probably because it didn't have far to go anyway. What?
Oh,
We're a
my
maniac.
God.
We're such a hater. Regardless, I had put on the same appearance, and it came naturally after the previous 2 weeks. The death of that man meant nothing to me, and I was only a little intrigued. Wow. I'd always known I'd react like that, and while I knew I couldn't show it, I didn't feel it was necessarily problematic as long as nobody found out.
Just a
Holy
straight up
shit.
sociopath? Like, okay.
Yeah, we are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. Neat, I guess. So it was actually Naomi? I have no idea how this man entered the tower. It's possible he was here from the beginning, or there could actually be a secret way in. It wouldn't surprise me given the track record this place has. However, he's a police officer, so whoever did this thing might have killed him just because of that. Thanks, Sai. Thanks, Sai. I'm not sure how they took his knife or why we didn't hear a fight. I have no clue what happened. None of us have blood on our clothes, which I suppose doesn't mean anything since it doesn't seem like much blood sprayed out. But I'll remind you all again that the Sekimeiya was hidden a while ago. All of us go back to having no alibi when everyone is able to go to the past.
True. Are you joking? Do you think one of us will go to the past and kill him?
Well, you said Naomi still has a set of keys identical to yours. Whether or not that's true, we know of someone who does for sure.
Multiple pairs of eyes faced me.
I have it. We didn't hide the Sekimeiya, though.
And if we had, we wouldn't have needed to do this because we were the ones who saw the lobby empty just minutes ago.
That's right, which forces me to point out the topic you were discussing in hallway A. I touched the Sekimeiya a second ago. Didn't those words come out of your mouth? They did. So you lied. You didn't see the lobby before I heard you since you appeared there from the future.
You're right, but we did see it before touching the Sekimeiya. It doesn't invalidate what we said.
You're admitting it. Good. Is this travel yet to happen?
I think it just happened. I don't know if anything went differently this time, but we found the Sekimeiya in the mechanical room, so whoever took it hid it there.
Below us, and you appeared in the hallway. I'm confused. You found the Sekimeiya, and I don't get how you got to that conclusion, Sai. Katsuki appeared there from the future, so he's the only one who couldn't have been able to look at the lobby before you saw them, right? No, both of...
He stopped himself when he realized he'd made the mistake. His pause was what made Akatsuki and me notice it. Oh, you know exactly what happened, don't you?
Huh?
You overheard our conversation when we said we had traveled together. Akaro thought only I appeared in the hallway, but you know both of us did. I touched the Sekimeiya, which made both of us travel at the same time. And you were about to say, no, both of them traveled. However, given the knowledge of the Sekimeiya you should have, that shouldn't be possible. After touching it, the Sekimeiya would power off and would take a while before anyone could activate it again. They're both matching
Damn.
fucking chin
scratching. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Does
Holy shit. What's the
you knew that was possible?
What's the button to hide for us to be able to what's the button? Help chat, what's the button? Space. Oh, I just didn't press it hard enough. There we go. Yeah, look at those two. Look at those two. Look at them. Alt F4. No Alt F4. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Just a couple bros hanging out? Just a couple bros? Yeah. Does that mean you knew that was possible? You haven't explained much about what you did during the time we were in the attic.
What are you talking about? I was going to say that both of you traveled together because it's what you two said. I stopped myself when I realized that Akaro was right. It didn't make sense. They've gone to the same business school for learning how to project an image of intelligence. Oh no.
No, I don't think so. Sai shook his head, disregarding Katsuki's accusation. Then he walked to the mechanical room.
So you two traveled recently, right? Should we just ignore the fact that you avoided telling us the location of the Sekimeiya if we're to believe you didn't hide it?
He didn't wait for an answer before he began to descend the staircase. The door had been left slightly open by the two of us so that the darkness below was at least slightly alleviated. Katsuki shared dubious looks with the others at Sai sidestepping the issue, but there was no choice except waiting for him to return. You don't think he wanted to use the Sekimeiya, do you? Katsuki walked to the door, worried about Sai's intentions, but he stopped himself short after a couple steps.
I was right, they're lying. What? We aren't. Where's the Sekimeiya supposed to be then? It was behind the pile of chairs. Incorrect. There was nothing down there. Are you sure? You're all free to go see by yourselves.
Search him! Search him! I knew that couldn't
him.
be true. We'd most likely arrived at the lobby before we disappeared from the mechanical room, so the Sekimeiya had to still be there. If Sai was so blatantly lying, had he found a way to frame us?
Yeah.
Can you open that hip pack? Yeah.
Josuke. This sure. Do you think I have it? I'm being serious. I didn't find it, but it's possible I missed it. Go look.
Sai didn't have the Sekimeiya on him, so Katsuki accepted his suggestion and gestured at me to stay put. Everyone silently stood in anticipation next to the still expanding pool of blood. Oh man, he really was killed recently.
Nothing, right?
Yeah, it's not there.
You should have trusted me. Do you feel like changing your version of events now?
No, we already told you what happened. The Sekimeiya should still be there. So we did timeline swap then, I guess.
I think so. What, did it disappear? Guess it wouldn't be that hard to believe.
Saya managed to switch roles as soon as he was put on the defensive, but it didn't seem to be bothering Katsuki much. Did you think that the past had been changed and that what was happening and what was happening was the result? Sorry, it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
What do you all think? It's not a good look to be caught lying like this, is it? Well, now the wrench that's thrown in talking about timeline swaps and how those work because if this is Mia and not Shiroya, then we know that they were in a timeline where it's not weird for this character to be there. Like, we know there's a timeline where they're used to seeing Mia. We know there's a timeline where they're used to seeing Shiroya. But if this is a separate timeline, this is two timelines that Mia exists in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there two timelines where Shiroya exists? Because there's like different clothes.
Well, there
Shiroya,
has to be.
right?
There was two Shiroyas.
Yeah.
Although I guess
so
that could have just been time travel.
That
Oh
could be
Lord
time travel,
Almighty.
yeah.
Oh Lord Almighty. All right. Don't you think that if we wanted to lie, we would have said that we found the Sekimeiya somewhere it was easy to steal? That's always too ineffective of an excuse.
This policeman either had a way to not be found for hours, or he had some way to enter the building, and he.
The chart is calling to me like the One Ring. It's really upsetting. I don't want my brain to do this.
It's a flowchart game after all.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet. Katsuki blinked several times, almost like he was fighting back tears. What? Someone killed him, and it's not easy for any of us to have done it. Finally, the Sekimeiya isn't where it should be.
He just loves cops.
Added to the fact that Naomi hasn't been found, you can't possibly think we did this, right?
You didn't?
There's no way. I think Naomi's the first person to suspect. Not only has she managed to remain hidden, but she also might have the same keys that we have. There are no cameras here, but we don't know if they're recording in the first place. You said you didn't inspect the whole building because you thought we were in the attic, right? We have to be missing something that the culprit is aware of. Could there be a place we're ignoring? That's impossible.
If not,
and he's
then
lying, right? Because he knows about the secret door, doesn't he?
yeah. I don't remember if he knew about the secret door or not. Wait a second. Who all's wearing turtlenecks? Is Sai wearing a turtleneck? I guess he is. I guess just him and Akaro, right? The turtleneck. He said he did not in chapter 1. Yeah, I don't remember at all.
Okay.
If not, then one of you did this. Naomi's disappearance should be enough proof that we're missing something, though. Oh, is Arena wearing one? Okay. No, sorry.
What's with the turtlenecks?
I don't know.
Okay. We have to find her or whoever else is here. It's almost guaranteed that this man was with us since this morning and we didn't find him. I think that's much more likely than some hidden passage. If it's neither of those, there's still an answer with the Sekimeiya. This policeman could have come from the future if he touched the Sekimeiya after 9 o'clock, and Naomi could have left the tower by going far to the past. We found the Sekimeiya in the attic and don't know where it is now. We'll look everywhere. Not only could people still be hiding, but the Sekimeiya has to be somewhere too. I can't imagine the real person responsible doesn't know where. It hasn't even occurred to me that a new character could enter this story. How about you? Like, I thought it was just gonna be this cast forever.
No.
Huh?
I don't want another one. We have enough of them. That's why I think it might be Suripo, since I already talked to him before. Go ahead and find Naomi for us. Do we want to pause here for break?
Sure. Is this a good time to pause, chat?
I don't know. They're about to do a building search, so it seems like a good time to me. But
Yeah, seems like it. Okay, I am gonna try and make a coffee break, so I'm just gonna rush out right now so I can boil the kettle. Be right back.
All right. I'm also gonna make a coffee, so be right back. Okay, well, I was gonna wait for Joe to come back to unmute, but now I have to come back to say thanks, not MSB, for subbing, and a big thank you to Terraflop for 10 community subs. That's very kind of you. And here he is. He's back. He's back.
I have a coffee.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't know what's with all the gift subs today, but thank you. You're all very, very kind.
I love Madness on the screen.
Yeah, he's you know? They're 35% off, but still.
LGBT plus? Yes or not yet?
What are you voting?
Not yet.
Oh shit! I moved the wrong thing. Oh man.
Sorry, I'm vanilla ice cream.
Should we keep him, but like make him a little bigger? Can we get away with making him a little bigger? No, we don't want him to block the thing. I also didn't put him there. He did it himself. Yeah, he just crawled there during break. I don't know why. I'm very tired today. I'm sorry.
You're doing fine. I think a lot of people like it when the subs are on discount. It's like,
yeah, it seems that way. I can stretch him vertically. I could do that. We could make him a long sigh. Yeah. Oh, it's locked on. The aspect ratio is locked. Thank you, Monk Tonight, for giving gifting a sub to I Love Men and Fishing.
The two genders.
Just
the two sexual orientations. They're very nice. Very nice.
Okay. All right. Okay. You like taking money from Twitch? I also like taking money from Twitch. Good point. Thank you everybody for being very generous. I really appreciate it. Any thoughts while I wake the fuck up? I'm so tired.
Did you get a coffee?
I did get a coffee.
Oh. I don't really have any thoughts right now about what's going on in the story. My brain is going to places that if the Sekimeiya gets hot enough, then it definitely pulls different people from Phrenology to the reality. But I wonder if there's it could be that the Sekimeiya is actually a very complicated work of magic, that it could be that if it gets hot enough, it'll make the people in the immediate vicinity time travel, but it'll also make every single other person in the building go over to the other timeline with them, but without them time traveling. So everyone here jumped over to the other building at the same time, but does that mean we switch places with the other people that are in the timeline? Could there be a point at any point in the story that in the other timeline someone else uses the Sekimeiya, and because they use the Sekimeiya, people that aren't even close to Sekimeiya transfer over and they don't even realize they've switched? Something like that. It could be some weird ass really complicated rule set to it that we need to figure out as we read through.
Actually, this is an interesting question. Is the Sekimeiya magic, alien meteor, sci-fi creation, a hallucination, or what? I got no fucking clue on that one. My feeling about the Sekimeiya is that it exists to exist and doesn't have a justification for existing.
Yeah, I just think it's a magic thing they found.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think it's ever going to be explained. It's just a magic thing they found.
How confident are you in understanding things by the end of the story? If I take a crazy day and go through things and make a chart, 100%, and if I don't do that, 30%.
I'm 90% confident that the story will also explain a lot of it, and we'll go through it. I don't think this is going to end with Katsuki and Sai stare at the camera and go, "We couldn't solve it. Can you?" And then credits roll. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to explain a lot of it. It's not going to explain everything, but it's going to explain a lot of it. Balder asks, any thoughts on if or how would you change the setup of the story to make it make more sense for the characters to spring into caring about what the Sekimeiya's deal is? What do you mean? Wanting to use it more, or to think of how it exists? I think any speculation on how it exists is going to be met with, well, we can't have any answers, so who cares? It's a waste of time. The characters wanting to mess around with it more, I feel like there's a reason why every single time that Katsuki tries to change the past, that it is something gets in his way, and it's trying to hide that for a reveal later, I'm guessing.
Godot says Higurashi or drawing chart choose. I would pick the chart. I would pick the chart. Yeah, I would pick the
I
chart.
would also choose my girlfriend's chart. Yeah. Yeah.
Sekimeiya crowd. Here's a question about the dolls. Do you all play Myrtle? Do you know about Myrtle? Should we start doing Myrtle on Sundays?
Ooh, I haven't done Myrtle. Is it fun?
It is just mini Sekimeiya. It is exactly what I keep describing Sekimeiya as. How long does a
Did you do
real
Scramble
Myrtle
today?
take? I did not do Scrambles today. Here, let me.
I
Here,
have a 9 out of 10.
I'll stream this to you real quick. I'll just put this up really quick. Okay. So Myrtle is a logic puzzle where you get people. It's like Clue, where you get people, weapons, and locations. There's a daily that's shorter. Why is this not a full screen? What are we doing? There's a daily that's shorter. But this version is a little bit longer. It was too easy. And I pulled this up once and immediately quit. It's easy. It's easy.
I think I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Did I pull it up and immediately quit?
Maybe. You just say, it's easy. You say Chancellor Tuscany had a lawyer. So that marks everything out. Grandmaster Rose was found indoors. Tennis court is the only outdoors one.
Oh,
So-
there was another game like this online that I found that had like art to go along with it, and it was really cool. But they stopped making them. I'll link it to you later. I think you'd like it.
Okay. Anyway, it's just Clue. It's just Clue. It's single player Clue. Why is there Homestuck shipping chart in the bottom right? I think that's where you can save your stuff and get hints and shit. Anyway, I'm probably not going to do this on stream because I already did this one today, and that would be cheating. But Myrtle might be good for the Sekimeiya lovers. This is a free advertisement. Hashtag ad. Hashtag ad. That's it.
Wow, with all the gift subs you got today too.
I know.
Hashtag ad.
I know.
Wow.
Greedy streamer. Greedy streamer. Have Joe has played Blueprints. I played Blueprints for half an hour and never picked it back up again.
You have better transitions than me from scene to scene. You start on time, and now you're doing sponsor ads. Wow, just clowning on me.
I just like to do things right, you know? If you're gonna do something, you might as well do it right. Anyway.
I like music. Are we ready to start reading again, or do you want a little bit more time?
I'm okay. I think I'm woken up. I think I'm woken up. Squeak.
Woken up and woken in. All right. It's certainly possible someone's on this floor. Don't move from here.
Okay.
Yay. He began by looking in the storeroom and then in the room in front. He probably didn't know about the fact that some cabinets could be opened up.
Is he doing this by himself? Does he not trust us? Oh.
From hallway C, 6 pairs of eyes stared at him, moving from room to room. He took a while in each one.
Did you hear that?
What?
No.
I glanced aside and discerned that he definitely still suspected Katsuki of something. No. Katsuki exited from the farthest away crystal room and turned to us. Without saying anything, he entered the security room.
What the fuck is he doing? Good question.
Do you think he's taking advantage of this to do something?
Yeah.
Felt like I was watching everything unfold from the sidelines, oblivious as to what was really happening. For some reason, Katsuki hadn't revealed what we'd powered on the computer. Hadn't revealed that we'd powered on the computer, despite telling me that we would. When he left the security room, he looked at us again and finally addressed us. Stay there! I'll look at the mechanical room again! He disappeared from our sight. Soon, we began to hear the same sound of doors opening coming from hallway B. Karo and Sai went to look at while the rest of us waited behind. When he returned, it didn't seem like he'd found anything. There's nobody here. I didn't find the Sekimeiya or any potential hiding spot we don't know of. If Naomi's here, she's somehow above us. Are you sure you were thorough? Do you know some cabinets have compartments inside? The Sekimeiya could be there, or my dead daughter. Yes, I looked in all of them. Even the ones with temperature regulation? Did you make sure to close them? Those two, yeah. It took me a bit to figure out how to open them. Before moving on, Katsuki looked in both bathrooms. Finally, he grabbed the elevator's handle. The door opened, revealing the empty elevator. I'll keep it open so that it can't be used. All right, let's go. Wow, so assertive. He started to go up the stairs, and I found myself following first again. After passing through the narrow gray door, we stepped back onto the desolate second floor.
How are the characters simultaneously passive and overly active? How indeed? How indeed?
Katsuki opened both bathroom doors and quickly dismissed them. This is what Battler is making them do. Nothing. I hated agreeing with Sai without knowing why, but he was right. It was hard not to think that Katsuki's attitude was odd. It was really frustrating. I'd always been good at reading him, but while he walked toward the offices, I had no comprehension of what his thoughts were. Wait, here.
Can I do it instead?
Huh? Yeah, sure. His nonchalant reaction threw me off, but I opened the door without letting that show. It was his idea to look through the whole building, which is possibly why Sai distrusted him. However, my confusion went beyond that. He'd openly told me about his intentions to change the past, so why did the sensation that he was hiding something still persist when he confided in me? I kept going over it as I opened drawers and looked behind the computers. Every time I thought that maybe it was all in my head, something else reinforced the opposite. There weren't many places to look at, so I was soon done with the 3 partitions.
I didn't find anything.
Because of playing Abiotic Factor, every single time they show this office room, I just salivate at the amount of resources I could get by breaking down all of those chairs, all those computers, all of those desks. It's a gold mine of components to build shit. You looked everywhere, right? It hit me that we were still alone.
Yes, but did the others not come with? I'm so used to you being to you being the Katsuki narrator. It's confusing me. Yes, but did the others not come with us?
I think they stayed on the crystal floor and let us go by ourselves.
Really?
Yes, and we should continue. We have to find something, be it Naomi or the Sekimeiya. I shrugged lightly before we moved up to the 3rd floor. There, the same process was repeated. He looked at the 2 bathrooms. I handled the offices while he waited outside so that no one crossed the path. Our repeated movements led to the first step on floor 4. This is taking a while. Let's see here. It's not possible she's not anywhere. Behind the glass, I started to look through the same places as below, while wondering whether I'd report a result anyway. I opened the door to the second partition and vanished from Atsuki's field of vision. There were only drawers that I questioned whether to keep checking. Midway through, I decided to push open the door to the last section. I stared inside. I kept doing so for many seconds, gripping the door's handle with my right hand. One of the many thoughts that crossed my mind was if I should move. Until I realized that it wasn't up to me. It hadn't been my choice not to move. However, my hand soon let go of the handle and the door was shut again.
That's weird.
When it did, I couldn't open it again. I stood next to it for a long time, during which I only focused on my breathing. Eventually, I comprehended that I was still able to move, and I took a step back. Strangely, neither my vision nor my mind seemed to be blurry. Someone's dead in there? Is she dead in there? I looked at the opaque wall and discerned a few silhouettes belonging to the chairs on the other side. However, I couldn't open the door again, and I didn't want to. I developed an irrational fear of spiders early on in my life. Whenever I knew a spider was in a room, I'd freeze behind its door, unable to open it. That was the same sensation I felt as I slowly backed away. Nothing again? I shook my head. What? What? If she's in the attic, she won't be able to take the elevator down, but this is very strange. We walked the path to the 5th floor until we reached the staircase. Are you alright?
Huh? Yeah.
You looked zoned out. Zooted even. Are you tired?
A bit. It's okay.
Alright, but don't push yourself. I'll look myself, so wait here. When I read this, I was dumb and thought she literally saw a spider. What if a spider touched the Sekimeiya? Time-traveling spider? I didn't voice any complaints. I just gave him a tiny nod. Outside, I kept glancing left and right until Atsuki was done.
Sorry. I don't know. Sorry. Just thinking.
What do you think's in there? There's a dead body in there, right? There has to be.
It could be a dead body. I don't know.
Or herself? Time traveling
yeah,
herself?
I was thinking it might be. Oh, it could be she saw. If she's Mia, she could have seen Shiroya. If she's Shiroya, she could have seen Mia. You know what I mean? Like it could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been that.
Or like Katsuki or herself in there, like with a finger over the lips to be like quiet, like just move on, like don't even interrupt this right now, like something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't really expect Naomi to be in these, but it all gets weirder every time we move on. Could a secret place that Katei doesn't know about exist? There's no way, right? If the answer is somehow a hidden spot, he must have made use of it as well, and also would violate Nox's whatever. One last identical floor remained, and which we silently ascended to. I didn't know what emotion I'd been attacked by, but I wanted to see the others, the unknown people I'd met that day. I needed to see them as a temporary shelter and not continually being alone with Katsuki. Whoa. The 6th floor was empty as well. You have the key, right? I nodded and took the key ring out of my purse. With the right key, I unlocked the door. Katsuki stood in front of the living room and looked at the floor. No recent footprints. It'll be fine if you stay here. I don't mind finding any. If I don't find anyone, I'm going to be pretty confused. I don't get it. Was Naomi never with us? How is this possible? I know we've already been here for a long time, but that doesn't make it any less confusing. Where the hell is the Sekimeiya also? Let's just go back down. I hope they trust what we tell them. We can't even take the elevator, damn it. We walked down the stairs and left the attic, heading all the way back down.
Do you want me to take narration from?
Sure. If you want to read, maybe it'll help you stay awake as well. Sure, go for it.
For every floor we descended, the air got hotter and my head number. Hearing different voices was like emerging from underwater. As my view of hallway C increased, so did the sound.
Where the hell are they?
I listened intently and frowned. The storeroom?
Oh, well, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Yeah, sure, buddy. I felt like he was looking... Hello, chinchillas. Oh, they're really going. I felt like he was looking at me oddly, but I didn't have time to point it out before he turned around. I headed to the open storeroom. Everyone was inside, but the room didn't look as I remembered it.
Look what we found, Tanya. There was a Tanya?
That was what she called Shiroya because of wearing the Tanzanite pendant, which we now know he gave to both Mia and Shiroya. So she's calling whoever it is Tanya. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see that happen this time in this interaction, did we? Okay,
nope.
There was a secret wall.
What? There you are. There you are. Where's Katsuki? He went to the bathroom. I stepped in farther. The length of the room had increased, and with every step I took, the temperature lowered. The others were all gathered around another door. What's this place? Also, was that name supposed to refer to me?
Tanya, yes, it's because of Tanzanite.
Oh. I suppose it made perfect sense to her. When we were going up, Akaro and I heard a sound behind us and saw that the storeroom wasn't shut, although nobody was here. However, I noticed that a spot on the wall wasn't dusty, which let me uncover this section. What the... Was it him who did that last time, or was it Shiroya?
It was Shiroya.
Huh. What the? Why does this place exist? Tell her, Kite.
Kite, tell him. I don't know. I had no idea it existed.
What? How's that possible?
I'm aware of how it sounds, but I'm the most surprised out of anyone.
I don't believe you.
Did you search the whole building?
Yes. Even though there was nobody here, this door is locked. I grabbed its handle and turned it. Indeed, it wouldn't budge. You saw the door open after Katsuki closed it? Is that what you mean? So someone opened it before we moved up? That's what we were discussing. This is obviously a spot anyone could have used to hide, but Sai doesn't believe someone left through it. He thinks someone came in. Otherwise, the door wouldn't have been left open and nobody would have left while we were investigating. But Katsuki had just finished looking through the whole floor. Exactly. What I think is that this door leads outside. The storeroom now stretches farther out than the crystal rooms, and it's a hidden locked door that would explain the policeman's appearance and Naomi's vanishing. Wait, really? If a policeman entered, why did nobody else? Who knows? Maybe the door was briefly unlocked when he got in, or maybe he was behind the plan like Naomi. Nonetheless, it appears the answer really was a hidden way outside. I'm sure people are in front of the entrance, but I wouldn't bet the entire building is surrounded, and it could be possible to enter and leave from this side without being seen. Can we not do anything to open it? My perception of our imprisonment had changed drastically. If we could open the door, I might have been able to escape, which I had started to want more than anything else. Would you or Katsuki know how to pick this lock? We've knocked and made noise, but there's no way we'll be heard from here, and the gaps aren't thin enough to see or slide anything through them. I don't. Well, you didn't find the Sekimeiya anywhere, right? Oh, she could have seen the Sekimeiya up there, too. That's no. Then it's possible it's not here anymore. Even if this door doesn't lead outside, it's very likely the Sekimeiya was taken away. If we're supposed to trust what Katsuki said, that could be the entire motive behind the attack. That still doesn't make sense, though. I don't think anyone could have taken the Sekimeiya from the mechanical room. Well, this door might lead outside, and Kite keeps assuring us he didn't know about it. Even if he's lying, it must be a secret door that's hard to find. There's grass on the sides of the tower, meaning that if this door opened outwardly, it would leave conspicuous marks on the grass and could be noticed. It probably opens inward instead.
Wow. What the fuck is this?
He's smart! There he is! Do you know how to pick a lock?
What? No?
What we talked about was reiterated to Katsuki, all while he wore an unchanging expression.
Did you really not know about this? I promise I didn't, and I haven't lied before. I also don't think this door leads outside. There's no way I wouldn't have ever noticed it.
And it makes sense that you didn't know about it if it doesn't lead outside?
I'm just speechless. This room is practically unused, but I can't believe this existed. Now a few things make sense at least. As you said, nobody was found, so Naomi must have been here at some point.
Yeah. I'd like to advise you all on something. I've made sure that if this door is open again, I'll be able to tell. What? Duct tape? How? I'm not telling you that. One of you could potentially manage to open this, so I'd rather not give you any indication of what I've done. Nah. He used his hair. He used a piece of his beautiful hair. We looked at the door curiously, but it was too dim to notice whatever Sai was talking about. Receipt-chan? Oh no. I think that's fair. It wouldn't be wise to demand that you tell us. Just trust me. I'll know if the door opens. Large gay Sai is too big. Oh, God. Alright. However, it's possible it won't, and that the plan already finished after the Sekimeiya was brought outside. Let's go to the attic.
To the attic? Why?
Do you think I'll believe you were walking around for hours and we didn't see you? You either went through this door or were in the attic.
He wasn't with us, we know that much.
You've said that before, I know.
How do you intend to know whether I was there? I won't allow anyone in lightly.
No? Then how come they spent 3 hours sleeping there?
I haven't forgotten about that. He's so protective of the attic.
He is, yeah. Sai read Umineko when he was 12 and based his entire personality on episode 5. There's a lot of those people floating around, huh? In the off chance Naomi's still in the tower, she's up there being covered by the three of you. I want to go see it by myself, and I'm sure Akaro and Arena aren't content with your words alone.
All right. After that, we will all slow down. I can't believe this door exists, but the truth is that Naomi and the Sekimeiya weren't found anywhere. Once this request of yours is fulfilled, we'll stay put somewhere and wait. So in this timeline, the Sekimeiya is actually hard to find, whereas the other one, they always just found it
it's like
right
all
away.
over the place.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. I wasn't talking about Joe. When Joe was 12, visual novels weren't even invented yet. What are you guys talking about? I agree with that. It's very likely the person who killed the policeman was Naomi or someone who could enter the tower again. For our safety, we'll have to stay together. That's fine. You okay?
I'm okay. I'm fine. Just so owned right now.
The elevator was still open, but we couldn't all take it at once. We walked up together, our footsteps clearly conveying our presence. I like to think that they're walking with their arms linked in a line, perhaps with a musical number along the way.
We're searching for the Sekimeiya.
Whoever the voice character here, Miura Shiroya, has like a solo, and she's just like very soulfully. She's got the spotlight on her. She's going room by room, like it's for real. Nobody had spoken again by the time we arrived at the attic's door, where everyone stopped. Katsuki looked at me, and so did the others. It took me a few seconds to realize it was because I had the key, and when I did, I remembered we hadn't locked it in. We hadn't locked it. We hadn't locked it in. We hadn't locked it when we left. I stepped forward, sensing that Katsuki was trying to tell me to hide that fact so he didn't cause an unnecessary conflict with Kite. I never have this much trouble with reading. This is so bad. I didn't say it. Once she opens the office door, the music cuts. She winks at the camera, closes the door, and resumes singing. Oh, it's so true. It's so true. It's so High School Musical. My body was hiding the keyhole, so I inserted the key and turned it. It was already unlocked, but I casually pulled the door toward me and took the key back out. Nobody called me out, as I'd easily looked nonchalant. I glanced upward
Her favorite word.
Yeah, she used it a couple of times, huh? Wait, we have this capacity.
At least 3, she said it.
Nonchalant. 3. Exactly 3. Exactly 3. Exactly 3. You're so smart. I glanced upward.
A sigh myself.
Yeah, a little bit of a sigh. Yeah. I glanced upward and began to ascend the staircase. On the floor, traces of Katsuki and me could be noticed. Change your phrasing, please.
Failed the D20, huh? Okay. It's my favorite joke at the moment.
It's a good joke. Oh yeah, Godot in chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, we're the problem here. We're the perverts, not Godot.
I know. I'm apologizing to Godot for my crimes, against him. You're not changing it. I don't think you should change it. We need to change, but we never will. Okay, on the floor. Traces of Katsuki and me could be noticed. Sai stared at them silently before walking in. The elevator doesn't work, so stay here. When Akaro and Kite arrived, they went with Sai, curious to see if anything was to be found. The attic was composed of only a few rooms, so they made quick work of inspecting them. I suppose it's possible someone's on one of the middle floors, but given we found the storeroom's secret door, I think it's much more likely that was how Naomi managed to escape. Yeah, you can stop suggesting we covered for Naomi, since it wasn't our plan to go search alone. I suppose we might as well stay here if we're going to remain in one place.
What? No, that's not a good idea.
Listen, this place has beds, and I don't want to sit on the floor for over 6 hours. After hearing that, Kite didn't immediately stop him, and Sai took his chance to go straight to a bedroom. Having beds and a sofa sounded good to everyone, so we stood in front of the 2 doors. Sai opened the right one.
We've already been here, so given the circumstances, I can't order you all to leave. However, do understand how important it is that you don't damage or break anything.
Thank you, Haydener, for making a giant pride heart. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Happy Pride Month.
You don't have to worry about that. Behind Sai, Akaro, and Kite entered the bedroom. As each one had 3 beds, Irina entered the left one with Isla. Being the last 2, Katsuki and I quietly made our way in as well.
This is a similar arrangement as last time, right?
Yep.
Do you want to be down here or up top?
But they were not with Irina and Isla because Isla was... They were with Irina and Akaro, right? Because Isla was a woman in a fridge.
Yeah, they were all upstairs. They're in different rooms this time. They're taking the right and left bedrooms, whereas they were all in the one bedroom and they took the doorknob off the door and they went upstairs. Okay, so it is different. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care. No, you can choose. Either one is okay. Well, what about you two?
I want to know if...
no, they did come up here in the last cycle, and this is where Isla said that she has an imaginary friend.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was just... Actually, my brain, realized that without noticing, because I was just thinking we don't know if... The other thing that we don't know is if, whatever timeline bullshit, diverged at this point. Is it, in this timeline, does her friend exist? Maybe we're actually, just about to get that question answered. Katsuki and I shrugged.
Let's go up then. You'll have a bed all for yourself.
Isla nodded and went up the ladder. From below, we heard them sitting on the 2 beds.
Do you feel all right? I see. Try to sleep if you can then. Everything will go by much faster.
We were eavesdropping on them, but since they hadn't closed the hatch, it was their own fault. Katsuki and I sat on the single bed we had and lay back. I can't believe that she was okay with being on the same bed as him. She hates him so.
I know. She hates him, yeah.
The killer had been with us in the tower. That was a guarantee. Going off of the atmosphere, it seemed everyone was trying to feel safe by staying together. It could also have been that they assumed the man was only killed because he was a policeman, and the rest of us would be left alone.
I think this is probably 1990 something, but I don't recognize the flag. Do you need a pillow?
I'm fine. After a deep sigh, Katsuki closed his eyes.
Have you thought about what we talked about? Regarding Akashik Park, I know I said we could wait until the summer. I can't do it, but we can go during the first week of January if you want. It's okay. I think it's better to wait. Are you sure?
Yeah, I can't believe we're getting a return of Akashic Park right now.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. Let's go in the summer. I see. All right, I'm glad you made up your mind.
Silence. If I may. Out of nowhere, Sai burst in and walked to the drawer. Hey, Sai.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm looking in these drawers for no reason whatsoever. Once he'd gone through all of them in the wardrobe, he went up the ladder. By the sound he was making, he was doing the same with the wardrobe above. He soon came back and left without explaining himself. At least he closed the door. As soon as Sai left, Katsuki lay back. All I could assume was he'd been looking for the Sekimeiya or something. I looked at my purse. Thankfully, he hadn't demanded to look in it, but knowing that it could happen at any moment made me very uneasy. What the fuck is in the purse? Sai had shut the hatch. Does she have a Sekimeiya in there? Sai had shut the hatch, so I could no longer hear Irina and Isla. And my left was Katsuki, resting face up on a white pillow. Oh, hey, Man of Answers. Thank you for rating. 78 endings of the 100-line done. The bravest soldier.
Wow, 22 left.
You've been promised it's all peak from here on out? I'm sorry that your viewers lie to you. Chat here is really nice, though. That image of him with his eyes closed was one I'd started to get used to. However, I could no longer think that his mind was completely blank. I knew for a fact that he was silently plotting something, and that was basically guaranteed to work. Whatever plan or conclusion he'd thought of, I wouldn't be able to stop it, so it was smarter to let him be. Well, I couldn't help but explore the idea of going to the past myself. I had no motivation to do so, and I didn't even know what to do if the chance ever presented itself. This is so cold. She's so cold.
She really is.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he's a stranger to her. Yeah. She's definitely a sociopath for sure. Like the pretending to be upset about seeing a body, like she really is a sociopath or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. How mad will you be if it turns out that she's the one killing people and we have like an unreliable narrator?
Really mad, furious.
Really mad. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
Good. That's great. Dude, that's the one thing that's weird. We have zero motivation for murders.
Yep.
Zero motivation
that's
for
true.
murders. Like nothing. Zero. None. Zip. Nada. The only possible potential motivation for murders that we have is that they're like trying to put the other timelines out of existence so that theirs can be the real timeline or something. There's nothing else.
It's a story. Do you know in cartoons where they would show like some cartoon character breaking a rock, and instead of using a big hammer, they would like use a stethoscope to feel around the rock, and then they would give it like this little tap somewhere, and then the whole thing would crumble all at once.
Yeah.
This is the kind of mystery. Some stories are like that, where it's like they spend the whole entire runtime like just building and trying to mislead you and trying to like tell you information without telling you it's important. And at the very end, they give the final tap, the final one clue that you need. And then when they give you that clue, the whole story is meant to retroactively just shatter in your mind and be like go all the way back and like, oh, that's what that was. Okay. And I feel like this is the kind of story this is going to be. It's trying to withhold as much information as possible in a natural way. It doesn't always succeed until like it can do a lot of reveals at the very end and like just like keep slamming you over and over again. That's what I think.
So they're giving us all the pieces.
Maybe. But they're withholding the picture on the box.
It's spun glass? Yeah, you could say it's spun glass. I still think I'm gonna make a chart. I'm probably gonna make a chart. I don't think I'm gonna have a chart stream because I can't think of like a... Actually, you know what? I'll talk to Boulder offline because I'm sure Boulder has some kind of productivity tool that would let me make the kind of chart I want to make. So we'll talk to Boulder about a chart. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway. What?
I'm surprised Sekimeiya gets a chart. I'm surprised.
Boulder says, as your lawyer, I advise against making a chart. That's crazy. But the one time I ask Boulder for help, he won't do it.
Hold on. Don't worry. Start making it and tell him what program you're using and like do like 10 minutes and then show him what you're doing and then you'll get what you need.
Oh my god, you're so... That was such a call out. Oh no. Boulder and I are psychically at war because he keeps asking me to put an upward compressor filter on my sound, but I don't really want to, and then he keeps asking, and then I spitefully still don't do it, and now we're just fighting a I love Boulder.
Cold War.
I love Boulder.
I love Boulder too.
I love Boulder. We appreciate you, Boulder. Mouse, you should make the characters in Ashia Tower in The Sims and see if you can figure something out. Oh my god, you're so right. Okay. All right. We continue. I began to hear voices coming from the other side of the door, but they were too muddled to understand. When they faded away, I thought I'd finally be able to try resting. Oh, sorry. Boulder says, I'll be glad if you find an actually good charting application. I just end up rotating between PowerPoint, Obsidian, and Vector Graphics because none of them can read my mind. Obsidian is probably the closest to what I want, I think. But I'll let you know if I find anything else. You have no reason to know it. It's for people with chart brains.
Real jobs.
I didn't say real jobs.
I did.
But I do have a 401k. Sorry, I figured I'd let you know about this. I lifted my head slightly and saw him holding a note.
What does it say?
It was pretty hidden in the kitchen. I'll read it for you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Is it the love story note?
Is it the egg chair note? Sir, I have done as you instructed, and I didn't spot any difference in the attic since Zin's last attack. I believe it wasn't targeted. I finished this month's preservations, but some paint has begun to wear off, so next month I'll attempt to fix that on my own. Until then, thank you for your trust, and let me know if you have any new requests. Naomi. Whoa, paint? Preservation?
We saw a note like this before, but it was I don't remember hearing about paint and preservation, but maybe I don't remember it. No? Maybe search for Sir.
Okay.
Oh, you're getting... Oh, shit. Okay, so it was exactly the same. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Good. I don't remember that note being like that. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Click
What a
exact
cool
match.
feature.
I don't need to. I'll just hit next. Thank you. I didn't see exact match. Yeah, that is a cool feature. That's very helpful. When do we get the Sekimeiya AP quiz? So, it's a note that Naomi left for Ashia.
That's what Kate said. She kept this attic in good condition. I appreciate that you let us know, even if it doesn't mean much to us.
No problem. I'd go tell Arena and Dyla, but they seemed pretty sleepy. And we didn't? Okay, bye, Sai. Just bye. I closed my eyes. The light was right above us, so I put my arm over my face as well. Finally, some time began to pass. I wasn't tired enough to fall asleep, but lying down was surprisingly relaxing. I kept breathing as deeply as I could, appreciating the silence.
Did you notice what Sai did?
Shut the fuck. Ugh. What do you mean?
When he left, he walked toward the living room, and he hasn't come back yet.
Oh, did he? I didn't pay attention.
It's already been a few minutes. Do you have any idea about where the Sekimeiya could be?
Me? No, not at all. If it's not outside, it must be hidden pretty well.
Yeah, I had a couple ideas for hiding spots.
You didn't look at them when we searched?
Well, no. One of them requires unscrewing a computer tower. I also thought that maybe one of the keys you have could open Naomi's locker. I doubt it was just hidden like that, especially since it seems to disappear from the mechanical room. I'm not even sure anyone could have moved it.
I went quiet, wondering if the scheme I thought he was constructing was already in his head. He didn't seem to fully understand how the Sekimeiya worked.
He's still not back.
Do you want to go look for him?
Meanwhile, Sai, just knowing that Katsuki would do this, went down to the living room, took his shoes off, and then sock walked down back to the door just to fuck with him. Just open the door and be like, "Oh, hey, Katsuki, what's up? Oh, what's going on? Me in the living room all this time? Why would you think that?" I think we should. I doubt he knew where the Sekimeiya was since he was searching in this room as well, but nobody from the other room has followed him.
I tried not to sigh and shut my eyes forcibly. The attic wasn't locked, so the thought of going through the building again was dreadful.
Yeah.
I lifted my body up with both hands, all while thinking about how much I wanted to stay on that bed. We were doing top first every time, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. The huge mountain had a delicate structure. A single modification could collapse it beyond repair. To prevent that, the structure could be partially frozen. But that wasn't all, it could also be reshaped.
Do you want me to read this? You've been narrating for a while, and this might be all narration.
I can keep going for a bit. Should be okay. Yep. You can pick it up after this is over, probably.
Okay.
Reshaped in a way so that, unless I have to eat my words and it goes on for a full hour, in which case we'll stop. Reshaped in a way so all would connect firmly and so that causality was maintained. I do need to get a music emote here. Anyway, Shiroya and Katsuki stayed in the attic. Oh.
What?
Sai had gone to the crystal.
It was Shiroya? No fucking way.
Shiroya and Katsuki stayed in the attic. The song gets taken down on VODs. That's okay. Sai had gone to the crystal floor, but they didn't follow him down. Shiroya let out a sigh. They had no strength left, so they kept resting, trying to ignore what was happening around them. Closing their eyes on top of a bed would quickly begin to allow them to temporarily divorce from reality, and no noise prevented it. Very soon, both of them had abandoned consciousness. For a long time, stillness persisted, and even if sound could have been sensed, there was none. There's nothing guaranteeing that this is a story occurring in the same timeline as the one that we just left, just to be clear.
Do you think so? Would they do that?
I think they would do that, yeah.
Wow.
Katsuki woke up. His mouth was... was someone using the divorce command? Sorry. Katsuki woke up. His mouth was dry, and the ceiling light shined brightly on his eyes. Soon, though, he understood why he was awake. Faint noises were sporadically reaching his ears. He looked down and saw Shiroya sleeping very close to him, but he refrained from alerting her. His unconscious mind had taken the liberty of waking him up upon the smallest perception, so he waited warily to see if he could discern what the noises were. However, the answer revealed itself. After some quiet seconds, Katsuki saw the door's handle turning, and once it had opened, a recognizable figure behind it. Wow. Katsuki, Shiroya, come to the living room. I need to show you something.
Okay, sorry. It is hella sus that they're just suddenly really liberal with using her name. Like, what's going on here? This is... I'm rumbled. I'm really stunned. Wow. Are you making him dance while I'm like...
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Go for it.
Immediately after tossing out that mysterious request, Sai walked away. That's why. Okay.
Oh, okay.
As Katsuki tried to process the almost surreal way in which Sai had shown up, Shiroya's moaning made him turn to her waking face. Was that Sai? What did he want?
Did you hear him? He told us to go to the living room and that he had something to show us and went back there.
What? Shiroya yawned, but she couldn't help the intrigue. Sai had only called for both of them, and nobody from the opposite bedroom could be heard. Then, as he hadn't come back, they forced their tired bodies to stand up and attentively walked to the hallway. The door to the living room was closed. Katsuki pushed it inward and hesitantly glanced in. Sai wasn't there. However, on a sofa, a recognizable shining egg lay next to the many footprints that indicated someone had walked on that floor very recently.
Sai, where the hell are you?
Katsuki and Shiroya slowly stepped forward, confirming that he was neither there nor in the staircase. The Sekimeiya, presented without context, must have been what Sai had wanted to show them. Shining means that it wasn't used, probably, right? As Sai had seemingly vanished, both of them wondered whether he'd intended for them to activate it. That thought was denied when footsteps came from the hallway. Turning around, they saw Sai standing plainly in front of them. Oh, there it is. I brought it here from the crystal floor. It wasn't even well hidden.
Is that so?
He had found it. Nonetheless, what Katsuki and Shiroya wondered was why he'd brought it there. I don't know how what I'm about to say will sound, but I think I've come to understand what this thing really does.
Huh?
The Sekimeiya, whatever it is, can do much more than making one travel through time. I don't think I should just explain to you two. I've had time to learn how it functions, and it's incredible. Katsuki and Shiroya could hardly reply. Was Sai telling the truth? They'd found out the Sekimeiya had the power to make one travel back in time, but had they failed to notice the true extent of its capabilities? Speechless from the anticipation, they followed Sai to the hallway. He'd picked up the gemstone without making direct contact with it. There, everyone was called. Irina and Isla had fallen asleep. Akaro watched with concern, sitting on the lowest bed in the other bedroom. When everyone reunited in the hallway, Sai repeated the same thing he told Katsuki and Shiroya. What the fuck does that mean? What else can the Sekimeiya do? Akaro was the first to react strongly to such an assertion. That's what I will show you. However, I have my reasons to not explain what I don't want to.
Where's Kate? Oh, again, what the hell does that mean?
It means that if, after this, you don't want to believe what I'm saying, it won't be my problem. That's the kind of fuckery. Whenever the opening of this whole chapter thingy was the data text talking about how reality is malleable and can be reshaped, I think it's a hint to tell you that this isn't necessarily like a direct offshoot of what was happening before. But I don't know.
Wait, who... Was Kate, was there like a part where everyone looked at Kate and said, "Who the fuck are you? How are you even here?" Or was it Akaro? Who's the one? There was a guy that they were like how the fuck are you here?
I think it was Kate.
Was it Kate?
Was it Akaro?
I think it was Kate.
Can I actually just search who are you? Who is this? Oh, we're in chapter 2. Yeah, it was Kate. Akaro said, "What the fuck? Who are you?" Kate said, "Who, me?" And Akaro said, "Yes." So that was when Akaro appeared like super disoriented in the attic. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's a mean trick to switch over to a different timeline if that's the case.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not that. Maybe that really is Shiroya. It just doesn't feel like Shiroya.
There's also a timeline where Kate died. In the last one, Kate died. But yeah. Irina and Isla are still here in this one, so it's not that because Isla's still here. Everyone was confused by Sai's attitude. What was he trying to accomplish exactly? However, I'll make sure you believe me. The Sekimeiya's powers are much greater than you think. Sai opened the door to the right bedroom. Just so nobody thinks I'm trying to pull something, you can check whether there's anything strange in this bedroom. And then he pulled up his sleeves and said, "Look, not hiding anything here."
What could there be?
I don't know, but it's so you don't try to find objections later. Even though nobody understood what exactly Sai was getting at, Shiroya, Katsuki, and Akaro followed his suggestion. Both levels of the bedroom were inspected and nothing stood out. Alright, good. It seems you're all eager to see what this thing can do. Unfortunately, you won't see it directly. The cameras aren't recording, so nobody will. Sai, still holding the glowing gem, took a couple steps into the bedroom and left it on the floor. Then he approached the door and closed it from the inside. I will now lock the bedroom. It is such magician vibes. I really like how many times in this story there's like subtle and not so subtle allusions to like classical magic. It's really cool, like magicians. Yeah.
Some of them are probably lost on me, but I have picked on some of them. Yeah, like the cabinets as well, like the disappearing bodies inside of them.
Yeah. From the other side of the door, Sai proceeded to set the chain. In the hallway, everyone exchanged dumbfounded looks. Lastly, Sai locked the door with its key, which he got from one of the drawers. I'm about to touch the Sekimeiya to travel to the past. Faint footsteps came from inside the bedroom, which very shortly ceased. The next thing they heard was a door opening behind them. There we go. Now the Sekimeiya is isolated inside. It'll do everything by itself. Sai had come from the opposite bedroom, where Katsuki and Shiroya had been sleeping. I traveled a few seconds to the past, from room to room.
What the fuck are you even doing?
Weeby says, I've seen 20 blogs and I don't think anyone talks about it at all. You're the first to notice. That's actually insane to me. It sticks out so heavily to me. That's actually crazy to me. Godot said it wouldn't surprise me if, is it Adri or Adri? Adri had some kind of experience with magic trips. It's pretty big in Spain, but I never asked. That's cool. That's the main developer. Katsuki, why don't you search me?
Search you?
Check that I have nothing on me for the same reason. Nothing up my sleeves. Katsuki gave a sigh of frustration, but conceded. Aside from the personal belongings in one of his back pockets, Sai didn't have anything else. However, Katsuki noticed something.
Is your watch not working?
It isn't. It stopped working earlier, unfortunately, so we won't be able to measure the time. Anyway. Yep. I'm glad you're all following along. Now, Isla, mind telling me a number?
Oh, well, Isla's down here? Wait, hold on. Wasn't Isla and Arena asleep? When did they call them down?
I think he woke them up to bring them all out here to do a magic show for them.
Do you think, unnamed spoilers for Undertale, do you think Sai is like a character in Undertale with knowledge? Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? I don't want to say it directly because I don't want to spoil Undertale. Like, do you think...
I did propose at one point in the past that Sai is like the center of the whatever like space-time fault that we're sitting on. It feels like there's something fucky about Ashiya Tower itself, and that it's like some kind of fault that we're sitting on, and the Sekimeiya like triggers it and activates what's going on. Like, it feels like there's something about the building itself. The building itself is built as like going back to like the magician analogy, it feels like it's like a trick box. Like
it was made for this day.
Yeah, it was like made for this. Yeah. And I think it would be reasonable. Like the way that Sai is behaving here does like center him as like the star of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if there's only one Sai. There's two of everyone else, maybe multiple of everyone else. Maybe there's only one Sai.
I feel like Sai was the first one that we noticed like really big discrepancies between though.
Maybe we're seeing him in different parts of the timeline or whatever. I feel like in both episodes so far, if it is different, I feel like Sai has snuck off very early, gotten the Sekimeiya, and maybe spent like literal actual years figuring out how it works. Of just going like back in time. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? What happens if like just like like maybe not quite that much. Maybe that's too exaggerating the issue, but like he seems to have like been doing a lot of experiments.
Yeah, I don't know. Sai is really interesting as a figure. This is like the most interested I've been in Sai so far, because like the showmanship, like we're out of like the, like he's actually like emptying his pockets, pushing up his sleeve and asking someone to pick a number. Like he is like actively in the role of the magician here. He's about to ask someone to be his beautiful assistant, like,
And it's
so it's and it's Katsuki. It's super interesting. A guy puts on a pride shirt and suddenly he's interesting. That's exactly right. How am I supposed to stay interested otherwise?
A number? Why?
You'll see.
9.
9? I was expecting a longer one, but that's fine. Shiroya, say a letter. Huh? C. Perfect. Now we have to wait. Wait for what? For the Sekimeiya to work. I bet you'd all assumed it had to be touched to activate it. I don't think any of us are following. What will the Sekimeiya do exactly? Actually, I'm not completely sure myself. It can do anything, so we'll see. Some time from now, it'll make a sound. That'll tell us it worked. Some time from now? Nobody understood yet what Sai was talking about or why he was doing anything they were seeing. It shouldn't take very long. If I'm right and understand how the Sekimeiya functions, it won't take many minutes. Since it was clear that Sai wouldn't explain himself further, everybody decided to continue humoring him and waited. What kind of sound would the Sekimeiya make? Everyone's senses had sharpened, but meanwhile the silence was pure. Oh, I didn't mention it, but obviously the store is now completely locked. Both the chain and the lock are in effect. A couple of minutes had gone by when Sai pointed out that part of the setup. He grabbed the handle and tried to open the door to demonstrate it wasn't possible. It doesn't matter much, but you can see that I'm not lying about this, for once. Katsuki repeated what Sai had attempted and confirmed that the door couldn't be opened. So currently, we have no way to enter this room. Oh, fuck. Actually, I might have overlooked something. For the first time, Sai looked uncertain. He rapidly turned around and opened the opposite bedroom. When he came back, he had a key in his hand. I forgot both bedrooms had a key. This one shouldn't work, though, right? Nobody was sure. Sai inserted the key into the keyhole, but he couldn't turn it. Alright, it doesn't work. Good, so the lock is effective. After that brief interlude, the standby was resumed. It had been confirmed that they had no way to open the door, which told everyone that somehow it was going to open. Otherwise, the Sekimeiya would get stuck on the other side.
Okay, part of a magic trick is distraction, and that was a distraction there. That was a key jangle. Look, the key, the other room. Shit, I must have got something wrong there. What just happened? That was a weird inclusion.
What happened was he went into that room. He went into the other bedroom. Like, he disappeared into the other bedroom and did something in there. And said he was going to get the key. How much longer are we going to wait? You don't have much patience, do you? We're waiting for magic to occur, and it's only been a few minutes. The exact time, even I don't know. It almost felt ridiculous, but they kept waiting, wondering if Sai was just messing with them. About 10 minutes had gone by. Ding! Egg timer! There it is. A metallic sound startled everyone but Sai. They looked at the locked door as it had come from behind it. Hey, look, didn't this change? Everyone looked at Sai's palm. A key was on it, but everyone recognized it looked slightly different than it had moments prior. It wasn't the wrong one anymore. Are you just fucking with us? What, did the key appear in your hand out of nowhere? No, Akaro, that's not it. It modified the other key. That's one of the powers the Sekimeiya possesses. That sound was the cue that it did what I thought it would do. Sai didn't give anyone else a chance to object, opting to insert the key into the keyhole. He swiftly turned it and the door unlocked with a small click. You remember the chain as well, right? Don't think that bypassing it is something the Sekimeiya is incapable of. Once the main lock had been removed, Sai pushed the door open. No resistance prevented him from doing so. The chain wasn't set anymore. As he kept slowly opening the door, everyone thought the same thing. Sai was putting on a show. Nobody knew why, but they'd come to understand him enough to be certain of that. Everyone realized the scene is magician coded, but nobody talks about how the shit is all over the VN. Yeah, it's really obvious to me, but I was like a big fan of magicians and stuff when I was a kid. So. When the entire bedroom came into view, so did the most important thing inside. On the floor, where the Sekimeiya had been, there was only a square piece of paper. Isla, do you mind going to pick that up?
Oh my god.
Curious, she took tiny steps into the room. She bent down to grab the paper and turned it around. Then she read the black letters written on it. 9C. Oh, that's you. Sorry.
he's so full of shit.
Yeah.
He's so full of shit.
Yeah.
He's like learned some of the powers and he's just used them to fuck with everyone in here.
Yeah.
9C.
Yeah.
That's what it says. Is that it? Did the Sekimeiya hear the number and letter and it materialized that?
Precisely. No, he wrote it. He went into the other bedroom, wrote it on a piece of paper, and put it on the floor. Katsuki tried not to laugh, not particularly because he found that unbelievable, but because of what Sai's entire charade had led to. He took the liberty of going to the second level, where he didn't immediately see the Sekimeiya either, nor anything of importance. You're all wondering where the Sekimeiya is, right? Don't worry, I'll tell you. After it does something that requires more power than usual, it teleports to its cabinet. I'm not sure why yet, but it's what I learned. You'll see, follow me. Sai exited the room. As his show hadn't ended, the rest followed him, still unsure how to feel.
Still no mention of Kate.
They walked to the crystal floor and entered the event room. When the cabinet was uncovered, they could clearly see what was inside. Not only that, but the cabinet was locked. There you have it. That's a glimpse of what the Sekimeiya can do.
Why have you done all this, though?
Rather than being amazed, Katsuki asked what everyone had been wondering. To demonstrate all your misconceptions regarding the Sekimeiya. However, as I said, I didn't want to detail exactly how it works. That's why I did it in a way so you could witness it without understanding it fundamentally. The thing possesses immense power, and I can't reveal what I learned about it. We can't take it out of here again.
You said you demonstrated all our misconceptions, but I could easily think of a way you could have done this by simply traveling to the past.
How?
Isn't it obvious? Now all you have to do is activate the Sekimeiya. If you really understand how it works, you can make it send you to the past into the locked bedroom. There you'll leave the piece of paper and make the noise we heard. Before we enter, you'll touch the Sekimeiya and vanish from the room once again to the past. That could be why you locked the door, and so that we wouldn't open it immediately after hearing the noise. You definitely didn't prove that the Sekimeiya is able to materialize a piece of paper. It's true that it might have teleported from the attic to this cabinet after that. That's the most believable part of what you're claiming, though.
Sai looked surprised. How about this then? I will never touch the Sekimeiya again. I promise that.
You promise?
Yeah, as I said, we should leave it in its cabinet and never take it out until the shutter opens. If I never touch it, I can't do what you're speculating.
What will you do then? Travel to the past without touching it? Maybe that's possible.
No. You don't understand. I will never travel to the past again. Everything's already over and the Sekimeiya did it all. Listen, Katsuki, I can prove that what you said didn't happen. If it had, another version of myself would have to be somewhere in the tower right now. Let's confirm that version of me doesn't exist. Wait, Shiroya objected. I can think of another way, if we're supposed to believe what you're saying now. Another way. Underwhelmingly, what Sai had intended to be confirmation of the Sekimeiya's more extensive powers could be refuted with more than one method. It's possible you'll never travel to the past again, but another version of you could. I remember when you made Katsuki and me go to the living room. Back then, you weren't there, and you appeared from the hallway. What if that was already another version of you? If you lured us out of the bedroom, your original version could go in there to hide under the bed. From there, you heard what we were talking about in the hallway, 9C.
Yep. I was just thinking this, yep.
That version of you will travel to the past and appear inside the bedroom, where you'll leave the note. Then you'll use the Sekimeiya to go back to the past again, and you'll appear before us in the living room to play out the rest. Did you even hear me? If that's what happened, another version of myself should still exist somewhere. Let's see whether we can find him.
Not necessarily. If that other version of yours got out from under the bed and hurried here when we saw the note, he could have already traveled to the past.
You're pissing me off a little. How about this? That didn't happen either.
And can you prove that? I'm not exactly sure what you did, but was it just to make us believe that you have a great understanding of the Sekimeiya and get us not to take it out of the cabinet again?
Yep, you're not wrong about that.
Well, I can give you a third way you could have accomplished this by traveling to the past.
Katsuki explained it with a casual voice.
Like I said, what I could believe is that the Sekimeiya can teleport itself. If you really came to understand how that works... I remember when you claimed you forgot about the key to the other bedroom, but I don't believe you really did. That could have easily been an excuse to disappear from our sight. After all, you asked to be searched, but only before you entered the other bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible you got both keys from that room and initially only showed us one. However, it's also possible the Sekimeiya had teleported there. Excuse me, and that was going through all the drawers in the beginning, was setting up the trick.
Mm-hmm.
You touched it and went to the past to the right bedroom. You placed a note and touched the Sekimeiya before it teleported away. You went back in time and appeared in the second level of the left bedroom. This way, as soon as you entered it, the version of yours who'd already placed the note got out, and you showed us the wrong key when you'd already done everything.
Aren't you forgetting something?
What?
The noise. How would I have done that?
Oh, I see. I said you traveled to the past before the Sekimeiya teleported away, which must have been before we heard the noise. However, there are two ways around this. 1. The Sekimeiya teleported itself to the past after you made the noise. That would solve it, if it's possible. 2. The Sekimeiya teleported itself to the opposite bedroom and then back to the initial one. That's how you could have stayed there for longer and made the sound.
How about this? That didn't happen either. You're just wrong. In fact, I really did overlook that the other bedroom had a key as well. That was not part of what I intended to do. I don't think so. Next, it was Akaro who objected. After all, your silly trick ended with the wrong key transformed into the correct one. That couldn't have happened unless you had the wrong key, meaning you knew from the start you'd go to the other bedroom to pick it up. God, that was not part of the plan at all. All I knew was that the right key would appear on me after the Sekimeiya's sound. I didn't know it would transform the wrong one. That's very hard to believe. Shiroya had one last input. I bet the way you locked the room from the inside was part of your trick too. You set the chain and then locked the door with the key. That created the illusion that the Sekimeiya removed the chain, but it could have been as simple as you taking it out right after locking the door. It's not like we would have noticed. I actually didn't think about that. However, I didn't do it. I also bet the reason behind we have to wait for the Sekimeiya to make a sound was so you could properly time whatever you did. You had to wait a specific amount of time for it to function. Incorrect.
And can you prove all this? Is he? This is a bad end because we picked the top one, right? Is he about to get mad and just go kill him? Like, just...
Yes.
How?
By doing it again. Annoyed, Sai asked for the key to the cabinet. Everyone was still intrigued, so they agreed to let him unlock it. He picked up the Sekimeiya without touching it with his skin and left the room. Let's go back up.
You're going to do the same thing again? Can you not do it in the bathrooms?
I can, but that's not as aesthetic. Love him. Love him. Love him. Love him. A few eyes rolled, but they followed Sai up to the attic. Once again, everyone was in front of the two bedroom doors. Katsuki entered the right one and checked the drawer. The key wasn't there.
If the wrong key transformed into the right one, how come the original one isn't here?
Because we can't have two of the same, dumbass. Come here. So that you don't think any other self of mine is hiding nearby, go ahead and verify that.
You realize he could just appear after research, right?
That's fine. Irina and Isla saw the rest dispersing through the attic and shortly coming back, claiming not to have found anyone. Repeating his past movement, Sai stepped into the right bedroom and placed the Sekimeiya on the floor close to the door. There he stood in silence. What are you waiting for? I'm thinking about the best way to do this so that you don't have 100 excuses later. He remained in thought for a couple of minutes, then, looking composed, he walked to the door and closed it from the inside. I will only set the chain this time so that Shiroya abandons her idiotic idea. As Sai spoke, only one thought filled Katsuki's brain. I know what you want to do. He purposely left Sai a way out by ignoring one last way in which he could have achieved the same result. Careful not to alert him, Katsuki walked to the light switch and turned off the light in the hallway. What he had in mind was very simple. Sai would fake his travel. He claimed to be about to touch the Sekimeiya to lock the room from the inside and appear outside. However, he wouldn't actually touch it. Instead, he would stay in the bedroom. That way, he would hear what was being talked about in the hallway. At some point, after having written the note, he would touch the Sekimeiya and go minutes back to the past. He would appear somewhere in the attic and claim he'd just set the chain and traveled out of the room when in reality he would have already left the note.
1 second,
Then-
Sai just said he would never time travel again, and now he's time traveling again right away.
Yeah, because he's got to prove them wrong.
Yeah, but what if this is part of the bit so he can time travel back and set up everything that he just did? Okay, whatever. Sigh.
Then he would ask for the specific number and wait out the time he'd spent in the bedroom before opening the door and finding the note. All right, it's set. Now I will touch the Sekimeiya and appear in the past outside the bedroom. Katsuki gestured at everyone to keep quiet, and he'd also closed every other door in the hallway. By shutting off the light, he wanted to reveal Sai's trick. He looked down. From under the door, light was seen, as the bedroom was illuminated. However, what Katsuki had achieved was highlighting Sai's shadow. His body was blocking the light from going through the entire gap. That was how Katsuki intended to expose him. If that shadow didn't instantly disappear, he could prove Sai hadn't teleported out of the bedroom. Sai took 2 steps into the room, but his shadow was still acting as a barrier for the ceiling light. Katsuki wanted to verify Sai's bluff and quickly turn the light back on. He was certain that a future version of him was nearby after already placing the note. If he could know what Katsuki was doing, it was possible his idea would retroactively fail. However, Katsuki was confident that it'd still prevent Sai from completing his setup without a hole. Yeah. Like the last time, after 2 steps, the sound faded. The Sekimeiya was on the floor, but near the door. Therefore, even though Sai had to crouch to activate it, his shadow would still be visible from the other side. Katsuki stared down. The gap was very thin, and certainly not big enough to see through. As such, using Sai's shadow was all he could do. Sai's steps were purposely audible. However, that time they took longer to cease, and bigger gaps were between them. Before crouching, the shadow moved left and right, as if in thought. It seemed like Sai was conscious of his movements. I'm about to touch it.
All right.
Oh. But despite his confidence, Katsuki saw it unmistakably. The shadow disappeared in an instant. It hadn't moved away, it had vanished. Disconcerted, Katsuki still managed to react properly. He dashed to the light switch and turned it on. Instants later, the door to the living room opened. Alright, I appeared here this time, since we just came from the crystal floor. Alright, let's do this again. Katsuki tried not to look frustrated, as Sai didn't seem to have noticed what he'd attempted. What Katsuki had tried made sense. He had assumed the least important part of Sai's show was what the trick had relied on. However, he'd been incorrect. The only reason Sai had done that had been for the spectacle, to be able to claim that the Sekimeiya had unset the chain. In no way had that part been necessary to accomplish the result. It had not been a deception. Right after setting the chain and locking the door, Sai had touched the Sekimeiya and traveled to the past outside the bedroom. By doing that, he'd left both levels of the bedroom truly devoid of life. That was why Katsuki's very first solution had been that Sai would, in the future, travel to the past again and appear inside the right bedroom, after it had been locked. Yet that was also wrong. To make that note appear, Sai wouldn't travel back to the bedroom. As a matter of fact, he hadn't done it before they'd seen it, either. Incidentally, nobody had or ever would, as he'd worked alone. So he was more frustrated than he looked by the way Katsuki had acted. He hated feeling like someone was being superior to him. Do you want to take narration?
Sure.
It's going on for a long time.
Sai, it is going for a while. Sai approached the door and grabbed its handle. When he turned it, a chain prevented him from opening the door.
The chain is set, see? You didn't want me to also lock the door from the inside, so I'll do it from here.
Sai made his left hand a fist and slowly opened it up as if it were a flower. Ooh, a key was on his palm.
You're a clown. Am I,
Sorry.
Akara? Because you seem very interested to figure out how exactly the Sekimeiya works. What the fuck are you talking about?
Sai ignored him and inserted the key into the keyhole. Then he turned it slowly.
Why are you locking the doors if it's already locked from the inside? Because the chain provides a gap you can see through. I don't want anyone seeing how the Sekimeiya writes on a note. Don't worry, this time I won't go anywhere. Let's do what we did before then. Ayla, give me 3 numbers from 1 to 9.
Hang on, I'll give you the 3 numbers. Katsuki didn't want to give him any way out.
That's fine by me.
But Katsuki didn't open his mouth. Just like Sai, he formed one fist, following with the other. Then he stuck out 2 fingers, next 6, and finally 9. Those had been his 3 numbers.
Oh, certainly, Katsuki. We can do it like this.
Katsuki had done that to prevent something they mentioned earlier. If another version of Sai had appeared nearby, he could not have heard the numbers. All the doors were closed, so Katsuki's hands couldn't have been seen either. Okay, but how does the Sekimeiya know that it wants numbers on a note? What are we doing? What? To be clear, because I know that the tone of voice is usually, I hate what's going on. I love this. I'm just speculating out loud. I don't know what the fuck Sai's cooking right now. I really want to know. Now, do not speak about them or move in any way. Sai nodded as he smirked.
Do we also have to wait a random amount of time? A random amount of time? We'll see.
Even if they weren't sure of the real reason, everyone next to Sai felt in some way that he was trying to deceive them. However, his attitude was beginning to feel imposing. Did he truly want to leave the Sekimeiya in the cabinet? That couldn't be. So, then, what exactly had he figured out? Katsuki had asked for silence so these 3 numbers wouldn't be transmitted to anyone within reach. Because of that, everyone waited silently, and for longer than before. 10 minutes had gone by, and everyone started to realize that they'd surpassed the previous endpoint.
54, 55, 56.
Sai began to whisper very quietly so that only the people right next to him could hear him, puzzling them.
Oh, sorry. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 17. I had to count internally since my watch doesn't work, but it's been 17 minutes since we began to wait.
What?
Just joined. Why is there a gay sigh? For pride. 17 minutes. 2 plus 6 plus 9. Oh, remember when you said I'd waited an hour? I was wondering that when it said we waited about 10 minutes, because about 10 minutes is not 10 minutes. Remember when you said I'd waited an arbitrary amount of time to time everything properly? I'm glad I can now be certain I understand exactly how to use the Sekimeiya.
Sai inserted the key into the keyhole and unlocked the door. When he tried to push it open, the chain didn't stop him as it was no longer set. Wait, was there a ding?
There was a ding, yeah.
Oh.
The Sekimeiya unfastened the chain, right? Was it you? Are you my accomplice who helped me do this? If not, I'm open to alternatives.
6 pairs of eyes saw the identical scene. The Sekimeiya had disappeared and a small piece of paper had appeared on the floor. Isla walked over to it and picked it up. She showed it to the others. 296. What? 296926. What? That's a lot of. What the fuck? 3 numbers Itsuki had chosen filled up the entire surface of the paper.
Nice.
Wait. 296929266929926696969292926929292. Why are they in different orders? Huh. Attempting not to look flustered, he made his way to the second level of the bedroom, but there was nothing of importance to be seen.
Like before, after it was done, the Sekimeiya produced that sound and teleported to its cabinet on the crystal floor.
The second time, that claim was harder to believe, as they'd just come from there. On the way down, it was much more difficult for everyone to find an explanation for what Sai had done. When they arrived at the event room, they saw the same thing as before. We didn't even lock it after we took it out, right? Katsuki noticed the arrow on the side of the cabinet was pointing to locked.
We didn't. It might be hard to take in, but the Sekimeiya did. That's what I intended to happen. Are you fucking joking? What is this, a magical stone that can do anything? You thought I could only make one go back in time? Would that mean much better? Ugh.
However, there's still a principal way in which you could have accomplished this that only requires you traveling to the past.
Correct. It's possible that in the future, I'll go back to the past and appear in the locked bedroom. Then I'll write that note and touch the Sekimeiya, which will send me farther to the past. But that won't happen. I purposely left this method possible so you believe my intentions, that I sincerely don't want the Sekimeiya to be taken out of its cabinet again. That could go horribly. My wristwatch doesn't work anymore, and I don't know if I can fix it. We have no other way to look at the time. It'll be hard, but we'll spend every minute left together so that I can't go to the past and explain this your way. Additionally, before that, we can search the whole tower to make sure the version of me that this method would have left behind doesn't exist. Once this happens, you'll understand that there's no other way I could have done this but what I'm saying. This is only a glimpse of what the Sekimeiya is capable of. That I'm sure of.
Nobody could find words to reply with, let alone object with. So, as Katsuki's way out still seemed to exist, they went with Sai's proposition. The 7 floors of Ashiya Tower were inspected, and nobody was found. Not any other self of Sai, and not Naomi either. Okay, does that mean that the room that Shiroya looked in was there? But maybe that's not even the same building right now. Before the search had started, Sai had taken Sekimeiya out of the cabinet and brought it with them, so nobody could have used it in the meantime. What if, after touching Sekimeiya in the bedroom, Sai would appear outside the tower? Not even that would explain everything, and it could be avoided as long as they stayed with him. So lastly, they had to wait. After locking the attic behind them, they sat on the floor of the event room to position the curtain so that it wouldn't fall down, providing a constant view of the glass. The idea to save Mia didn't go anywhere. During the following hours, it was a surreal silence that everyone shared. There were no tricks left. The few times anyone had to go to the bathroom, it was made sure nothing else happened. Finally, they managed to wait until 9 o'clock, keeping the cold in the cabinet sealed. Noise came from the lobby. Without a doubt, the time had come.
Whoa.
The police rushed in. What?
Huh.
The police rushed in and found everyone sitting in the event room. They were hastily taken outside and put in a police car. Without hesitation, Ashiya released a public statement. Oh? Is it me or you?
Nothing has been taken. Everything is safe, including the Sekimeiya. Nothing has been taken. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Huh. However, word began to circulate in the underworld.
Ashiya are lying. They do not have the Sekimeiya. We do.
We referred to Zen. The more that rumor extended, the more it strengthened, as Zen continually stated they were in possession of the Sekimeiya.
The general consensus of the appearance is right. Pure white and shaped like an egg. However, notice that Ashiya haven't shown the Sekimeiya since the incident. Why do you think they haven't?
Is it a fake Sekimeiya that he used the first Sekimeiya, the real Sekimeiya, the first time to do the trick, but the second time he used the fake one? And then how would he do that? Now I think he's a part of Zen, if this is true. It was a very fair question, which led everyone to be certain that once again Zen had outsmarted Ashiya. Nonetheless, a new question shortly arose. Is Zen going to prove it? Weeks had gone by. Petitions to show the Sekimeiya bombarded Ashiya, but reaching Zen wasn't as simple. Yet, after the initial statements, neither party had proven their ownership of the Sekimeiya. And from one point onward, the Sekimeiya had become a myth. Neither Ashiya nor Zen spoke again about the incredibly valuable gemstone they once claimed to possess. Okay, so neither of them have it. Sai has it. Only a handful of people were known to have witnessed the Sekimeiya by themselves during the time they've been locked in Ashiya Tower. However, after being talked to, none of them had valuable information to share. And still, many people thought they knew the truth. Many people thought that something must have happened during the 12 hours they'd spent shut away with the mysterious Sekimeiya, whose whereabouts were unknown. After all, something must, in fact, have happened. Seeing that had caused the disappearance of a female staff member who wouldn't be seen ever again. Sorry, something, not seeing, something. Oh my god. So this is this timeline had an ending for them. Interesting.
Altered dichotomy.
Altered dichotomy.
Interesting. It didn't mention the policeman death, and also Boulder said nothing is what they call the other gemstones. I was wondering, they said nothing was taken. Does that mean in this timeline the gemstones weren't stolen at the beginning?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the big difference here is that Kate wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So does that mean Kate was in on it with the gemstone theft? It'd be funny. Oh my god, you know what would be so funny is if Kate is just a full red herring who is like sus as fuck because he was trying to do like a completely normal heist, except that the normal heist got fucked up by someone else's bigger, shittier plan. And so he's just like shitting bricks because he wanted to just steal the small fucking pissant like briefcase of gemstones that he passed to someone to take out. And then meanwhile, like the Sekimeiya bullshit engages. That'd be pretty good.
I think that is what happened because it feels like on this timeline he was successful.
Yeah.
And the other and so in other ones he's not always. Yeah. So, So that definitely seems like that is the timeline that Akaro came from that didn't have Kate in it.
Yes, yeah. Or something like it. Yeah.
So, but when did Akaro jump and say that to Kate? Wasn't that near the end of the first timeline that we saw?
It was pretty close to the end, yeah.
Yeah, but the Sekimeiya wasn't used again in this timeline that we just saw, so maybe it's not it. Maybe there's multiples of that. Huh. Okay. That's really interesting.
It is, yeah. I wonder. The thing about the bedrooms and the floors, if you look at the map of this place, there's so many places that are mirrors of each other, like the left and right bedroom. All of the offices have things that are just the same as each other, and the office floors are all of the same. The crystal floor has 2 identical hallways. I wonder if the Sekimeiya, if Sai was telling the truth actually about not using any of the time travel stuff to do that, and there's something to do with how the Sekimeiya like resets the world state. I wonder if it has like almost like a mirror function, because that's why I was saying if he dropped a piece of paper on the floor, but I guess he didn't have an opportunity to do that in the second one, because if he had just dropped a piece of paper on the floor and what the Sekimeiya had done was reverse the state of those like swap around the state of the building itself. It seems like it's like reset. It's almost like it's like loading a quick save or something. Like it's like you set something up and then you reload the quick save, and suddenly the Sekimeiya is back in his cabinet, and this and that. I'm also curious about what was making the ding noise, because we've never heard the ding noise before. I don't know.
Yeah, we never heard the ding noise before. That really just could be an egg timer. Was there an egg timer mentioned in the kitchen? No. Huh.
Just the computer sleep mode timer. The elevator would correlate to the bathroom? I'm not sure.
The quick save, quick loading idea definitely matches with like things coming back to them.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the keys and stuff. Also, the upper bedrooms, it's weird that that's the only thing that's on that floor.
Yeah.
Are the ceilings much higher in the other rooms, or yeah,
or is it just empty space? Yeah, I don't know. But like in the kind of like, I'm literally just saying shit that comes into my head, but like when it comes to people, like if people disappeared out of the cleaning room and they went to A5, or if I want to know where he was when he teleported to the security room, because if they'd been in B2 and he went to the security room, that would be confirmation of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where he was, so yeah. I'm just saying shit.
Do we both agree that the Sekimeiya in no way like undid the chain and also made a note appear, right? Like that is not what happened.
No, there's no way that it like just did those things on its own. No, it has to be something where it's just like resetting the state of the room to a point in the past. Yeah, it has to be a trick. Yeah. It just did that. Yeah, it just does that. It grew legs and undid the chain. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Shall we soldier on for another 15 minutes?
If you want to, this is a good place to stop. Though we just saw the ending.
This is a really good place to stop. Yeah.
If you want to stop a little earlier, we've gone later in some of the other ones. So like we're for an earlier end.
This was the point that the mouse of the stream recommended that we stop if we got here. Okay. So seems like we probably went a little faster than he expected. Oh.
Well, this is cool. Probably my favorite session of Sekimeiya yet.
Yeah,
and
same.
My previous favorite was last week's, and my previous favorite that was the week before that. So it's getting better. I think almost every episode, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely getting better as we go for me. Oh, August asked if you're live with P streaming now. Are you?
I'm not gonna if I'm gonna live with P stream tonight, I'm not gonna stream like right after this. No.
Are you going to Liza P stream?
I don't know. I'll see how I feel like a little bit from now. If I did stream right now, you could raid me.
That's true. That's
Ooh.
true. That's true. It's tempting. It's
Whoa.
tempting.
A
It's
little tempting.
tempting.
Now it's okay. I'm not gonna do that.
Should I offline rage you? Why did you do that? Jelly was live.
Jelly was live? I didn't know
Jelly was
I'm sorry.
live. What were you cooking? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, if you didn't know, that makes sense.
I didn't know Jelly was live. I was really tired. I wanted the stream to end. I was just like, let's just do this because no one answered me like after
Yeah,
I
that
asked.
makes
So I was
sense.
just like, okay, let's just do this. Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right. Speaking of raids, who should we raid? Literally, no one on my list is live. Is live. It's just crazy. I see Chibley is live, but yeah, we can raid Chibley. Go live for 5 minutes just for me to raid him. We could. All right. Well, thank you everybody. This is a good stream. Gay Sai is here to stay for all of Pride Month, and then in the classic tradition of all corporate overlords, we will be retiring him afterward, and he will never exist again. So, we'll pretend it never happened. Roth Sai.
Should I just be bi for this month too?
Yeah, sure, okay? Go for it. Yeah,
yeah.
You can come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. You ready for that to be clipped? Would you like to officially come out for Pride Month?
Temp bisexual. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Congratulations. You get like the gay equivalent of like a temporary visitor's badge when you go to visit someone's office.
What the fuck? My hair is turning purple. What the fuck?
Should I take you for your first facial piercing? All right. Well, congratulations, Joe, for temporarily coming out, and we will raid Chibley.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much, chat, for listening to us read.
The amazing thing is this is not the first Seki stream to make Gay Psy Icon their mascot. That's crazy. Thank you, Monk Tonight, for gifting a sub to I Love Men and Toes. Thank you very much. I hope everyone has a good night.
See you later, chat.
All right, and
Mario
goodbye.
Kart. Whoa.